Good afternoon, my name is Richard. Welcome to Over and Over and Over Again. This is the live watch along, the first of the day. We've got two watch alongs for you on the channel this afternoon. This is Arsenal away at Leeds. Really big game. Of course, if we win, we will increase our lead at the top of the table to 4 points. Of course, Manchester City are playing at Liverpool later on this afternoon. It's going to be a big game. We've got all the coverage here. Stay with us for Leeds United versus Arsenal.
Watch Gabriel Martinelli. It's now with Granit Xhaka. Is it going to be the third goal? It is the third goal. Granit Xhaka with it. That seals it.
So, good afternoon. Big afternoon for Arsenal. Of course, the men in action very shortly away at Leeds, and the women later on as well away at Reading. We will bring you that game as well. Now, we have got your team news in for this game this afternoon at Elland Road. This is the lineups then for Arsenal. In goal, Aaron Ramsdale. The back four, Ben White, William Saliba, Gabriel, and Takehiro Tomiyasu is back at left back again, following a great performance he produced there last week against Liverpool. The midfield two is Thomas Partey and Granit Xhaka. Just ahead of them is Martin Odegaard, Bukayo Saka, Gabriel Martinelli, and despite rumours to the contrary, Gabriel Jesus is starting up front. We kind of assumed that he would be anyway. On the bench then for Arsenal, it's Matt Turner, the goalkeeper, Kieran Tierney, Rob Holding, Cedric Suarez, Sambi Lokonga, Fabio Vieira, Manquillos, Reece Nelson, and Eddie Nketiah. So a pretty strong bench as well, actually. For Leeds, and this is how they line up. It's Illan Meslier in goal. Their back four is Rasmus Christensen, Robin Koch, Liam Cooper, and Pascal Struijk. In midfield, it's Tyler Adams and Mark Roca. Just in front of them, Luis Sinisterra is back from suspension. Brandon Aronson and Jack Harrison. And up front for Leeds this afternoon is Rodrigo. On the bench then for Leeds, it's Christopher Clausen, the goalkeeper, Luke Ayling, Junior Firpo, Diego Llorente, Crescenzo Somerville, Moritez Click, Joe Gilhoyt, Sam Greenwood, and Patrick Bamford. So they are the lineups then for today. So for Arsenal then, it's exactly the same starting 11 that started last week against Liverpool, isn't it? We made all those changes, of course, in midweek for the trip to Norway for the Europa League, a game that we struggled a little bit in, didn't we? But we did ultimately get the victory. So it is back to the team that started against Liverpool. Tomiyasu back at left back again. Now, he did play well, didn't he? But it kind of leaves Kieran Tierney in the situation where he's now almost third choice left back, isn't he? Behind the injured Zinchenko. Of course, the big news is Gabriel Jesus is fit to play today. I kind of always felt he was going to be. I didn't think there was much real doubt. I think that was just a little bit of gamesmanship there from Mikel Arteta, and I'm sure Leeds were expecting him to play as well. So, yeah, that's how we line up. So it's quite a strong bench, actually, for Arsenal, isn't it? Compared to, some of the benches recently, we've had a few youngsters on there, haven't we? But not today. It is all players that have played in the first team, all on the bench. And I say some quality as well. Fabio Vieira and Manquillos, we know what good they can do. Kieran Tierney is a great player. Of course, Eddie Nketiah can score goals. Of course, he'll be keen to get on today, won't he? He's back at Elland Road, where, of course, he did spend 19 games he played for Leeds on loan back in 2019, scored 5 goals for them. I'm sure he'll be looking to get some more goals against them this time. He did, of course, score 3 times against Leeds last season, didn't he? In the 3 games that we played. He got 2 in the Premier League game at the Emirates in May. He also scored in the Carabao Cup as well, didn't he, when we beat Leeds 3-0 at the Emirates. Of course, last season's game here at Elland Road, just before Christmas. If you remember, it was the only game played that weekend, wasn't it? Because all the games were called off because of COVID. Arsenal won 4-1 on that particular occasion. 2 goals from Gabriel Martinelli, 1 from Bukayo Saka, and 1 from Emil Smith-Rowe, who was on the bench that day, came on to score. Of course, he is currently out injured at this moment in time. But that was the score last season. We haven't actually lost at Elland Road in our last 7 visits in League and Cup. That goes back all the way to November 2000. That was the last time we lost at Elland Road. That was a 2-0 defeat in the Premier League. We've played 7 times since then, and we've won all of those games except for one. It was a 0-0 draw, of course. We've drawn two, haven't we? We had a 1-1 draw in 2001 and a 0-0 draw 2 seasons ago in that game when Nicolas Pepe was sent off, of course. So we do have a good record here at Elland Road. But Leeds have a great record here as well. Certainly this season, they're unbeaten at home in the Premier League this season. They're 4 games, 2 wins and 2 draws, although they did win their first 2 and they've drawn their most latest 2. So they haven't actually won at home since August when they beat Chelsea 3-0. Chelsea were, in fact, the last team to win here as well in the Premier League back in May. They won that game 3-0 as well. So, but Leeds are good at home. They've got a real passionate support, haven't they? It's going to be a tough game for Arsenal, of course, on the back of that trip back from Norway. Of course, the game was Thursday night. We wouldn't have got back until early as of Friday morning. And now we've had to travel up to Leeds for this game on Sunday at 2 o'clock. So a lot of travelling for Arsenal. It takes a lot out of the legs, that, doesn't it? Yes, a lot of the players didn't play much part in the game, but ultimately they've still travelled, haven't they? And it will still have an effect, I think. And how often have you seen Arsenal and other teams as well coming back from an away game in Europe and then struggling in the next Premier League game at the weekend, especially when it's away from home? So I'm certainly not expecting this to be an easy game today at all. You know, Leeds are a good side, and I say they are very good at home with that passionate support of theirs that they've got. So I think it's going to be tough for Arsenal, but ultimately we should have the quality to win this game. We have got better players than Leeds, let's be honest, and we are playing with real confidence at the moment. So I'm pretty confident that we can win, but this is a potential banana skin for us in a sense, you know, a game that we could drop points. And if we do, it's going to leave the door open for Manchester City later to overhaul us at the top. We are currently a point ahead. But I say Manchester City aren't playing until 4:30 this afternoon when they travel to Anfield, which we know is going to be a tough game for them. You know, Man City won't drop many points. They won't lose many games this season, will they? And one of those potential defeats you could mark down for would be Liverpool away, because that's a tough game for anybody. So we'll see what happens there. But we don't need to worry about that for the next couple of hours. We need to focus on our game. We need to win, and that's it, really. Win our games, and that's all we can do. And then we don't have to worry about anybody else, do we? But it is going to be difficult today. Leeds have only won twice this season. They haven't won in their last 5 games in the Premier League, but they are unbeaten at home. So it's a little bit swings and roundabouts. They're currently 15th in the table on 9 points from their 8 games. So yeah, it is. It's a game that we should win on paper, but football's not played on paper, is it? It's played on the pitch, and it's going to be tough. It is definitely going to be tough, especially here where the crowd are. They are a 12th man, aren't they? If you like, for Leeds. You know, the way that the crowd get behind them and whatever. So it is going to be tough. We know that, but Arsenal have, you know, got the full allocation of, I think it's 3,000 odd tickets, isn't it, for the away section at Leeds, which is along the touchline on the near side. It used to be behind the goal. I remember going to Leeds lots of times when you were behind the goal, and now you're moved over to the side, which is a bit annoying. But anyway, it is what it is, and let's hope that it's the away fans that will be celebrating later on this afternoon as we see what happens. Don't forget as well, coming up on the channel later on this afternoon as well, we will be covering the Arsenal women resumption of the WSL. They are away at Reading. That game kicks off at 6:45 this evening, so we'll be going live about 6:30 with the team news, all the build up to that game. Another big game for the Arsenal this afternoon. It's a big day, isn't it? It's going to be like that for the next few weeks, isn't it? Lots of games going on, the men and the women. The women are called starting the Champions League on Wednesday. We're covering that game as well. The Europa League on Thursday for the men against PSV. We'll be covering that as well. So loads of great stuff to come on the channel. So please consider subscribing if you haven't done so already. And of course, the big watch along today here from Elland Road, Arsenal away at Leeds. And an opportunity to get a 4-point advantage at the top, which, you know, I wouldn't say necessarily Man City would be under pressure to win their game because there's a lot of games still to play, but it adds a little bit extra pressure, doesn't it? You know, if we go into it, if we make them go into their game with a 4-point advantage, we know, regardless of what their result is, we are going to end another weekend on top of the Premier League, middle of October. Fantastic stuff, isn't it? I'm still concerned that it's not going to last too long. My biggest concern actually is the fact that once again, Mikel Arteta's not making any changes, or very, very rarely is he making changes to the starting 11. Which, yes, there's the argument to say we're playing well, why change a winning team, which I totally get. But this is 2022. You can't win the league. You can't win anything with 11 players. You need to use your squad players. And we did see in the Europa League in midweek, we've seen it in the other Europa League game as well, that the squad players that aren't playing many minutes are coming in, and they're not ready, really, are they, for that top level competition? And that's going to be a problem if we do get 2 or 3 injuries. What happens? You know, some of these players have got to come in and play, haven't they? Marquinhos needs minutes. Vieira needs more minutes. Eddie needs more minutes. Reece Nelson clearly needs more minutes. And these are players that we're going to need. Samuel Congo as well. And you know, we can't just rely on this 11 or the 12 or 13 players that tend to have started most Premier League games for us. You know, we're going to have to start using some of these squad players to get them up to the pace of these games. But it's a gamble, isn't it? Because if Mikel Arteta makes 2 or 3 changes to a team that's winning and we drop points, everyone will say, well, why did he make changes? So it's a tough one, isn't it? But you've seen in the Europa League games that some of these players do need to be playing more competitive football. They do. And the only way they're going to get that is to be playing Premier League minutes, isn't it? And to get on the pitch. But it is a tough one for Mikel Arteta, but ultimately he's got to make those decisions. He's paid a lot of money to do so. And we can just analyse them afterwards, can't we, and say what he maybe could or couldn't have done. But, you know, I'm not surprised it's the same starting 11 from Liverpool, because that was a great performance. And if we play anywhere near as well as that today, we should have too much to beat this Leeds team, even with their fantastic home support. Of course, Arsenal fans of a certain age will remember these games against Leeds from the 1960s and 1970s as being the big games of the season, wasn't they, for a few years? A bit like the Arsenal-Manchester United games from the 90s. They were the games, wasn't they? We didn't always do too well, though, against Leeds, did we, back then? They beat us in 2 cup finals, of course, but we did put them to the league title, didn't we, in 71, the year we won the double, which is always a great memory, of course, something that Melvin talked about on the Highbury Matters show on Wednesday. So if you missed that, please check that out as well, because that was a fantastic show. Russ was on with him. Some great memories, brilliant stuff. So but this is the modern Arsenal, the modern Leeds. It's a totally different game now, isn't it, to the 1970s? And there's not so much riding on this one as there has been some of those big games against Leeds historically, but ultimately it's a big game for Arsenal today. To get the win. Leeds need the points as well, don't they? Because they're a little bit too close to that bottom 3 for their liking. But you can see that their new coach, Jesse Marsh, has got them playing a good style of football. And I think the fact that Luis Sinistera is back in the team for them, he's a great player. Of course, he was suspended following a red card a couple of weeks ago against Aston Villa. So it's going to be a big game for him. The teams are now coming out onto the field at Elland Road. Arsenal in their all-black kit again, as we did on Thursday. Leeds, of course, in the all-white kit. Their traditional colours, of course, coming out into the October sunshine. Well, the sunshine over half of the ground. The Arsenal fans in a corner are in the shaded part of the stadium. And the teams are just about to line up here. The Leeds fans getting behind their team, as they always do. Always a great atmosphere at Elland Road. I feel the stadium could do with some modernisation and some work done it. We were there in the summer for England Lionesses game. It's still a great arena for football. It's a little bit worn now, shall we say? Not in the best of states anymore. It could do with some work. Anyway, the Leeds lineup then, it's Illan Meslier in goal. They've got a back 4 of Rasmus Christensen, Robin Koch, Liam Cooper and Pascal Struijk. That is their back 4 for Leeds, as has been recent games. In midfield, it's Tyler Adams, the American, and the Spaniard Mark Roca. Then in front of them, it's another American, Brendan Aronson, Luis Sinistera and Jack Harrison. Great player Jack Harrison is as well, isn't he? And then up front for them is the Spaniard Rodrigo. We know how dangerous he is as well. So that is the Leeds United lineup for this game today. Here at Elland Road. And Arsenal then, no changes from last week's victory over Liverpool at the Emirates. So it's exactly the same starting 11 for Arsenal. So in goal, it is, of course, Aaron Ramsdale, as he has been in every single Premier League game this season. The back 4, the same as last week. So Ben White is at right back, William Saliba, Gabriel in the centre, and Takehiro Tomiyasu is at left back again, where he played so well last week. Thomas Partey and Granit Xhaka in midfield, of course, the usual partnership there. 2 great players in great form. Just ahead of them, we've got Bukayo Saka, captain Martin Odegaard, and Gabriel Martinelli on the left-hand side, of course. And then up front is Gabriel Jesus. He is fit to play, and there wasn't really too much doubt about that, was there, to be honest? Really, anyway. So that is the Arsenal lineup. So Arsenal in their away black kit with the gold trim. Very, very smart kit that is. both teams playing a very, very similar formation, as most teams do these days. A sort of a 4-2-3-1 essentially, isn't it? Although it's like a 4-3-3 really for Arsenal. It's quite fluid. Sometimes we even go to 3 at the back, don't we? And that's how we can play as well. So, you know, the left back sometimes drops into midfield, and then it goes to the 3 at the back when we're in possession. But we'll see how this game works out. It's going to be a very, very tough game, of course. We know that. And it's a big game for Arsenal. I say victory will send us 4 points clear at the top, but it's in no way going to be straightforward, is it? Rodrigo is back up front in place of Patrick Bamford today. Bamford is on the bench for Leeds. Maybe not quite hit the heights, has he, Patrick Bamford, since those injury problems that he's had, but he is still a great player. We still know he can score goals at his top level. He's on the bench for them, but Rodrigo is a very, very good player, isn't he? Very tricky. And I expect he's going to be the big threat, isn't he, for Leeds against us today. We're going to have to keep him very, very quiet, aren't we? I also like the look of Brandon Aronson as well. I think he's played well for Leeds this season. The American, he's looked a very good player as well. He's going to be a threat for us as well, isn't he? And I say Luis Sinistera as well, who looks at another good signing for Leeds, doesn't he? The Colombian. And I think he could well be a player that we have to watch for as well. But, you know, we're in great form at the minute. We're playing really well. We've got everybody's settled into the system. We're playing. The only slight concern I've got is still with Gabriel at centre back, who's been a little bit shaky in recent games. He's got a mistake in him, hasn't he? But let's hope today he can get back to the form we know he's capable of. And I think it's going to be really important. We are just about to get off and underway here at Elland Road. Arsenal in the black, Leeds in the white. Arsenal attacking their goal to our left in this first half. I say half the ground is in sunshine and half is shaded by the stand on this near side. The ball goes back to Aaron Ramsdale. It was Arsenal that kicks off. Ramsdale goes long into the Leeds penalty area, but it's going to run all the way through to goalkeeper Meslier. And we are off and underway in this big Premier League game. Meslier in possession for Leeds. Bounces the ball. He's in all orange kit. Rolls it to this near side to captain Liam Cooper. Gets it back again. Gives it back again to Cooper. The Scotsman drives forward for Leeds up this near side. Put under a bit of pressure there from Gabriel Jesus. He goes long, and it's actually an offside there, given against Rodrigo on the near side. The referee today is Chris Cavana, and I don't know who's on VAR actually, but it doesn't matter too much because we're not going to worry about that. We're not going to use that as an excuse, whatever the result are. We didn't, you know, there were some controversial decisions last week, wasn't there, again, the game against Liverpool, but we deserve to win that game because of how well we played. So I'm more focused on that than worrying about the referees and the VAR and all that kind of stuff. Anyway, Aaron Ramsdale's currently in possession for Arsenal. Kicks the ball short to Thomas Partey. Goes out to that far side to Ben White. Tries to play it up the line to Saka, but it's gone out of play. It is going to be a throw to Leeds on that far side. We've played it just over 1 minute. Of course, by this point last week against Liverpool, we were already ahead, weren't we? It's been a little bit more of a cagey start to this game. No real flow as yet, but it's still, of course, very, very early on in this game. Both teams just looking to settle down. The referee actually is coming over to this near side. Not quite sure what's happening here. I think the referee can't hear anything through his headset and his microphone, so he's just having to come and change that. So we're having a little bit of a hold up here in the very early stages of this game. All fun and games, isn't it? So the referee is having to get a new headset because his one has broken down, which is great, isn't it? Technology is good, isn't it, when it works, and when it doesn't, it's an absolute pain, and that's what's happened at the moment. So they're just waiting to maybe get a new set. No, is he back okay? He's referee Chris Cavana's going back out onto the pitch again. I don't know whether he had to just reconnect it. Anyway, it looks like everything's okay now. We can recommence it. It's going to be a throw to Leeds over on that far side, which Pascal Strike is going to take. The score called recently for Leeds, didn't he? The Dutch fullback referee. So we're not ready to get going again yet. We're not quite sure what's happening here. The referee is still not happy about the communication that he's got. He still said he can't hear anything. Well, just get on with the game, mate. You know what I mean? Don't worry about it. Referee the game yourself. But anyway, Michael Oliver is the fourth official over on his near side. He's having a conversation at the moment with the Leeds manager, Jesse March. This is not the ideal start to this game, is it? Communication problems between the officials is not what we really need. just as we were getting going in this game. Chris Cabana now is coming back over to this near side, is he? It still doesn't seem to be working for him. Have they got a spare? Have they got a spare headset for him? Not quite sure. There's a guy there come over to chat to the referee and one of the linesmen on this near side. Not really sure what's going on at this moment in time. The Leeds players are just kicking the ball around over on that far side to keep warm. It's not been an ideal situation, is it, to start this game? We'd only played it just over a minute, and we've got a rather long delay, which is a bit annoying, isn't it? But anyway, hopefully it won't be too long until the referee is back with his communication equipment working again and we can get on with the game. He's just calling the two managers together at this moment in time. Not quite sure what he's saying, but it seems to be he's telling them the issue that he's got with his equipment, and there is obviously going to be a delay for this game. We've already had a 3-minute delay as things stand already. I'm not really sure. I don't know whether he's saying we're going to bin VAR off. Well, that might be a good idea. I think he's saying we're going to bin VAR off because I can't communicate with anybody, so I'll just referee the game. And I think the two managers are saying, yeah, get on with it, mate. Don't worry about VAR. Just referee the game as though it's 2018 again. That's all you've got to do. But I don't think he's going to be able to do that by the look of it. Anyway, he's reconnecting his earpiece, but so far we are still waiting for some sort of resolution to this situation, which is not ideal, is it? It says nearly 5 minutes on the clock. We haven't played 5 minutes. We've played about 1 minute and 20 seconds. And since then, the referee's had this headset issue, this issue with his communication equipment. And at this moment in time, there is no football being played at Elland Road. Arteta's got the players in now to have a little chat to them. Not that there's a lot to be said because we've only played so little of this game already so far. So there's not many changes need to be made. But I think the players need to stay focused, stay warm, and hopefully we can get back up and under running very, very shortly. But as things stand, there's a big break in play while the referee is sorting out his equipment. So there's no actual football going on at the moment, which is a bit annoying. The Leeds manager was just had his players together as well. But Arteta is going through a few bits and pieces with the players, which seems a bit strange when literally they've just come out onto the pitch. They've played a minute, so it's not like he should have done all this before they came out. I'm not quite sure what he's going through with them now. But anyway, maybe he's just telling them to keep focused and not let this disrupt our game plan, and we can get straight back into it when we can get back up and running. Leeds have got the ball and they're just kicking it around. Maybe we should give ourselves a ball, get our ball on the pitch for our guys as well, just to keep them loose and warm and kick the ball around. But I don't know whether they are doing that. They're showing the Leeds players kicking the ball at this moment in time. In fact, Arsenal haven't got a ball because Arsenal players are standing around chatting and doing a few stretches and and warm-ups, but Leeds have got 2 or 3 balls on the pitch. I don't know why we haven't done the same. Anyway, the referee is still over on this near side looking to get his equipment sorted out. It hasn't been ideal. Now, what effect is this going to have on the referee? That's what you've got to look at as well. It's obviously going to be very it's quite a stressful situation for him, isn't it? You know, there's a big crowd in at Leeds. It's a big game, and you know the focus is now on him, isn't it? And I feel as though this is a difficult situation for the referee. Actually, how does it affect his performance? Well, we'll have to wait and see. Hopefully, it won't have a negative effect. But it's obviously not a great. It's not ideal situation, is it? It's out of his control, of course, and we can't blame the referee for that. It's unfortunately one of those things with the communication of technology. But anyway, let's see what's happening here. Gunnar for life in the chat. He says, "Oh, Rich, everything is good with you. Fingers crossed we can get another 3 points." Exactly, yeah, that's what we need. Unfortunately, at the moment, there's this massive delay in the game. It says 7.5 minutes on the clock, but we've only played a minute of the game, due to the referee having issues with his communication equipment. Jesse Marsh is chatting to the 4th official, Michael Oliver, on this near side. And it looks as though hopefully this issue may well be sorted out very, very soon and we can actually get on with the football, which is what we're here for at the end of the day. You know, we don't really want to be talking about referees' communication equipment breaking down. We want to be talking about the football on the pitch. But as things stand, we're not. In fact, Arsenal have got a football now on the pitch, which they are just kicking around. But I think we may well be soon going to be getting back up and running in this game. The 3 officials are in conversation on this near side, but I'm not really sure it's still what's happening at the moment. The fans in the stadium don't look as though they know what's going on either. And yeah, so far we still haven't really got this game going. We did kick off. We played a minute, and since then the ball is going to restart. It will be a throw to Leeds over on the far side. It was a pass from Ben White looking for Bukayo Saka, which went straight out of play. And that was where we were. And that seems like a long time ago now. And we've had nothing since because the referee has had a breakdown in his communication equipment. And we are now waiting to see what the outcome of this is. The crowd have been patient, to be fair. The big crowd in Elland Road, it looks almost a sellout. Always a good atmosphere at Elland Road, of course. Anyone who's ever been will I'm sure, back that statement up as well. It's a great ground to go to. I just feel it needs a little bit of work. It's looking a little bit run down. Going for Life says, you ever thought of putting the lineups and a clock? What is the lineup? I've got the lineup. Obviously, I can't really fit it on the screen and me at the same. Well, I suppose I could do. I mean, I could move myself over somewhere, couldn't I? How could I do it? I'm trying to figure out how it would work. Anyway, I'm not really sure how it would, but anyway, that's the lineup for Arsenal. Arsenal made no changes from the game against Liverpool last week. It's the same Arsenal lineup: Ramsdale, White, Saliba, Gabriel, Tomiyasu, Partey, Xhaka, Saka, Odegaard, Martinelli, and Jesus. So Jesus is fit. I kind of expected that he would be. Leeds lineup: it's Meslier, Christensen, Cooper, and Struijk. Adams, Roca, Sinistera, Aronson, Harrison, and Rodrigo. So they're your lineups for today for the 2 teams. I'm sure you're probably expecting by this time, it's nearly 4:15. You'd have been expecting the game to be going on and loads of stuff happening. But unfortunately, after just a minute of play, we've had a hold up due to the fact that the referee's equipment seems to have broken down. So we've only played a minute of football and the rest of it's just been standing around. Now, the referee's talking to the 2 managers again. It doesn't look as though this issue is actually sorted yet. I'm not quite sure what the discussion is, but both managers seem fairly happy with what they were told. And hopefully, very, very soon, we will get back up and running, and we will be able to get some football to enjoy, because this is quite frustrating at this moment in time. And it's not ideal, is it? But this game's going to obviously finish a lot later than previously anticipated. Anyway, the referee is taking the players off. This is a little bit of a worrying situation. I think is the referee taking the players off. I think he is, which tends to suggest that this situation, whatever it is, isn't going to be resolved anytime soon. So Going for Life says, our VAR is broken, so it can't rob us today. Well, no, it might rob us of the match, because the players are being taken off the field of play. It says 11 minutes on the clock. So we've only played a minute of the game. It's almost like we'll have to restart it all over again. Not that anything happened in that minute particularly. There was a couple of turnovers of possession, and Leeds are about to take a throw over on that far side when we do get back up and running. But this isn't ideal, is it? It's not the afternoon we were hoping for at this point in time, is it? Fred says, we have been warned about energy blackouts, so no surprise it hits the north first. Yeah, well, maybe that's what it is. I don't know. I'm not sure. Is it an electrical problem? Because, obviously the floodlights must be on. Not that they need to be on, because it's sunny at the moment and there seem to be lights on in the stand, but there does seem to be some communication problem for the referee. So the players have now been called into the changing rooms. They've gone in. The crowd are now going for refreshment. Or a lot of them are, and let's hope that we do see some football today, which is a bit annoying. Fred says there from the BBC. Oh, okay. Let's have a look. Let's have a look and see what's actually going on. I mean, obviously, I don't have the sound on the telly because it will just get in the way of the watch-along. Let's have a look and see exactly what is happening. It just says a technical problem at Elland Road is what it's saying. The players have been called off the pitch. Heading down the tunnel. The stadium now suggesting full support is that due to a power cut. A power cut, it says. Okay. And it says they're working very hard to resolve the technical issues. I mean, a power cut is obviously quite a serious issue, isn't it? Well, anyway, I'm not quite sure what's happening here, but anyway, I'm not really sure. But anyway, it's saying a power cut. So there is a power cut at Elland Road. And yes, maybe the issues are a little bit worse. Fred Dead has updated us there. He says game postponed at game paused, sorry, not postponed at Elland Road. The players have been called off the pitch and are heading down the tunnel. Yeah, we've just seen that. Fred says there the stadium announcers was just informed supporters that due to a power cut, the game has been paused. We are working very hard to resolve. Yeah, just saw that on the BBC website. Yeah. Well, that was all a lot of fun. It says it's a power cut, but the actual scoreboard's working, and I'm sure that the scoreboard would be powered by, I don't know, electricity possibly, and that's working fine. So I'm not quite sure what the issue is. Going for Life says they need the chairman to put 50p in the meter. Well, I say that the scoreboard's on, so there can't be a power cut for all the electricity. Apparently the fans have been told to go down to the concourse area and stuff like that. There's food still on, so. The power cut seems to be affecting VAR. I would imagine it would be a VAR issue, as we said, as opposed to any other issue. And of course, you can't play a Premier League game without VAR these days because, well, what are the referees going to do? Having to make decisions on their own. I mean, Jesus, you have to feel sorry for them, wouldn't you? But the match has been temporarily suspended, which is not ideal. Don't know what's going to happen, how long this is going to be, how long this is going to take. I do remember. Back in 1997, I think it was, Arsenal played a game away at Wimbledon, and it was a midweek game just before Christmas, I think it was, or just after Christmas. And at the time, it was 0-0, and the floodlights went out in the second half, and the players had to go off. Obviously, they were looking at trying to resolve the issue. The lights came back on again temporarily. The players came back out, and then a couple of minutes later, they went out again. And that was it. And eventually they put an announcement to say the game had been postponed. Now, of course, later on, that was connected, or it was allegedly connected to some sort of betting ring. There was a few incidents of a similar thing happening at that time with floodlight failures, which were very, very unusual. You know, this isn't a floodlight failure. I say it looks as though the scoreboard is working at Elland Road, so I'm not really sure what it is, whether it's just an issue with VAR. But anyway, the game has been temporarily suspended. Let's hope it's back on again very soon. Jay says there, got to assume that after they came out, we'll have roughly 10 minutes to re-warm up. Possibly, I'm not really sure. Yeah, you'd imagine they need a warm-up of some sort, wouldn't you? Fred says, meanwhile, in the WSL, Everton won, Chelsea won 53. Oh, wow, that would be amazing, wouldn't it? I know Chelsea were winning that game. Actually, what we'll do in the meantime, then, why don't we have a look at what the scores are around the country? Because obviously there are WSL games going on. There's other Premier League games going on as well. So let's have a look. So in the Premier League, then currently it's Aston Villa 0, Chelsea 1. Mason Mount with that early goal there. There's no goals at Old Trafford, Manchester United against Newcastle, or at Southampton against West Ham. All those games are 0-0. I say the only goal in the Premier League this afternoon so far is Chelsea's goal at Aston Villa. Mason Mount with that one. Of course, Liverpool play Manchester City later on. Let's have a look then at the women's games in the WSL, which is called back today. Manchester United did beat Brighton 4-0. They're flying at the minute, aren't they? They have gone to the top of the table. Ella Toon with 2 goals, Leah Galton and Leon as well with the goals there for Manchester United. Brighton are struggling, aren't they? In the other games, I say, is Everton 1, Chelsea 1. Buchanan own goal has just equalised for Everton after Pernell Harder had put Chelsea ahead. So that could be more points dropped for Chelsea. Of course, Manchester City 0, Leicester 0. That game's only just kicked off. And Tottenham are beating Liverpool in the WSL. It's an own goal from Fahey, of course, a former Arsenal player, isn't it? So they are the results there. Of course, Arsenal women kick off at 7:15 tonight against Reading. We are currently down in 4th place, but we've only played 2 games. And a win, of course, later on against Reading would put us back to the top. So that would be good, wouldn't it? Jay says there, good to hear Everton have equalised. Indeed it is, yeah. Let's hope Everton can hang on. And that could be a decent result for us, couldn't it? With Chelsea already having lost a game. Also on Merseyside against Liverpool, of course, first game of the season. And now they're being held at Everton. So exciting stuff. Of course, there is that Arsenal player, Gio, on loan at Everton as well, the Spaniard from Barcelona. So maybe she might help to see if she's playing actually in the lineup. No, she's not actually. She's on the bench. anyway, so far it's a good result for Everton and for Arsenal women anyway. So that's good, isn't it? And I say there's only one goal so far in the Premier League, which isn't the goal that we wanted because it's Chelsea winning, and ideally we don't really want them to keep winning, do we? It was Mason Mount with that goal. Manchester United and Newcastle, another big game today, is still 0-0, and Southampton West Ham is 0-0 as well. So this is a bit crazy, isn't it? Anyway, there's still no news of what's happening here at Elland Road. There's still the players are still off the pitch in the changing room, and I mean this season has been a bit strange so far, hasn't it? There was games postponed because of the death of the Queen. There was, Europa League games postponed on the same basis. There's uneven number of games played, and now we've got this issue here at Elland Road today with some sort of power issue, which seems to be affecting the VAR situation, the referee, as opposed to the actual power in the stadium, because I say the scoreboard is working. So very, very strange goings on currently at Elland Road. Very strange goings on in the world at this moment in time, and it seems to be affecting the football today. There's still no news as to how long this delay is going to be for. We'd only played just over a minute of the game when the referee had to come over to sort out some issues, and since then we haven't seen any more football. So if you was expecting to see or to hear me certainly going through the action, unfortunately there's no action to go through. There's two Leeds players on the pitch at the moment, substitutes warming up, kicking the ball around. That's about all we can bring you at the moment, and they're passing the ball to each other very nicely, but that's not really very important, is it? Guna for Life says there, do we play PSV game midweek? Yeah, that's on Thursday at 6 o'clock kickoff. That is on Thursday, the PSV game in the Europa League. Of course, it has meant the scheduled Manchester City game in the Premier League has been postponed, as we know. So yeah, the PSV game. It's a busy week actually. Wednesday, the women play away at Lyon in the Champions League. Thursday, the men play in the Europa League against PSV, and then next Sunday, there's two games again. The women's play at 12 o'clock away at Liverpool, and the men play, of course, at home to Nottingham Forest at 2 o'clock. So lots of games coming up this next week. Well, assuming this one gets played as well. And, of course, later on this evening as well, at, I'll say, 6:30. As long as this game's finished by 6:30, we'll be back again for the Arsenal women away at Reading, and the resumption of the WSL following the international break, and, of course, the Continental Cup break the week before that. So, yeah, very, very strange goings on at the minute. But yeah, we are playing on Thursday in the Europa League in that PSV game that was called off, of course, a few weeks ago in light of the death of the Queen, of course. But so far, we've got the death of this match because it isn't happening at this moment in time. The players have gone off the pitch, and we are still awaiting the latest updates as to find out whether or not it is going to go ahead at all, or whether we're going to have to postpone, or what's happening. We're not really sure. Obviously, if the issues that are causing the power issues that are causing problems to VAR aren't solved, then the game will have to be postponed, won't it, quite honestly? And then it will be moved at some point later in the season. All very, very strange goings on at this moment in time. And yes, so there is currently no football to bring you, unfortunately, at this moment. But do stay with us, because we haven't given up on this game yet. It hasn't been officially postponed. There's still a possibility it will start. Just to keep you up to date, it is some sort of power issue apparently, which seems to be affecting the VAR as opposed to anything else. So we've had to, the players have been sent back down the tunnel again, back into the changing rooms, because obviously it seems as though it's an issue that can't be resolved very, very quickly. That was quite a while ago now. The game did start. We played a minute or so. Nothing really happened in that minute other than a couple of turnovers of possession. And Leeds had won a throw over on the far side, but other than that, that's all that had happened before this has gone on. So, that was what half an hour ago, nearly now, or 25 minutes ago. So yes, what's going to happen? We're not really sure. Obviously, everybody's still in the stadium. There's a lot more empty seats now. I think people have gone down to have a drink and get something to eat, possibly. Missing the Sunday dinner, and you can't even watch the game. which is a little bit annoying. But anyway, there's a couple of Leeds players on the pitch, substitutes, just having a kick about over on the far side, over there. But other than that, nothing else to report in this particular game at this moment in time. Let's just have a look again at the other scores going on in the Premier League and the WSL. Let's have a look at what we are doing. Oh, Chelsea have just gone back ahead again in the WSL. Everton wasn't level for long, were they? It was a penalty, actually, just 6 minutes after Everton equalised. A penalty again from Pernell Harder. They've had a penalty in every game this season, Chelsea, in the WSL, actually, which is a bit annoying, isn't it? They've missed one and scored 4 now, or scored 3 and missed 1, whatever it is. They've had one in every game anyway. So they are now winning again at Everton 2-1. Manchester City 0, Leicester 0, and Tottenham 1, Liverpool 0 is your WSL scores. And in the Premier League, let's just get the Premier League scores up, and we will see what we are going to be doing with that. So in the Premier League then, currently the scores are still Aston Villa 0, Chelsea 1, obviously Arsenal 0, Leeds 0, but we haven't played much. Man United 0, Newcastle, and Southampton have taken lead against West Ham. It's Perraud with the goal after 20 minutes down there in Southampton. So it's West Ham's good reason for. Oh, we've got some life here. The referees come back out again onto the pitch. Are we going to actually see the game restarted? All exciting stuff here. The referee, Chris Cavada, has got a football in his hand. He's coming into this goal. And he's just, what's he doing? Checking. Oh, is it a goal line technology issue? Oh, it's a goal line technology issue. It seems to be. He's checking the goal line technology, which still doesn't seem to be working, frustratingly. And yeah, it seems to be is an issue with the refereeing technology. Now, you know, we have played, and we did play football for over 100 years with none of this technology. And, you know, we kind of coped, didn't we? It wasn't ideal at times. Some strange decisions happened, but ultimately we got through it and we coped, and it was great. And I don't see any reason why we can't just play the game without it. But anyway, there does seem to be some sort of issue with the goal line technology. So who knows what's happening. Phil says there are 3 points to us by default. Well, I mean, I wouldn't necessarily say that's going to be what the outcome will be. I'm not quite sure that we deserve any points, or Leeds do. It's an absolute farce. I don't know why we can't just play the game without the technology. Yes, people would say, well, you know, all the other games have had the technology, so we can't play one without it. But I don't know. That's got to be a better option than postponing the game. And, you know, all the aggravation that involves with, you know, the tickets and people coming back and whatever else goes on when a game has to be rescheduled. I mean, it would be much better. A much better solution is just to play the game without the technology, in my opinion. But whether or not that's what they'll decide is, you'd imagine they would have decided that already, possibly. But it looks as though the issue hasn't been resolved. The referee, Chris Cavana, has got a ball in his hand. He's coming back now towards the tunnel area, which isn't a great sign at this moment, is it? And the prospect of this game actually going ahead is becoming a little bit less and less with every passing moment, really. Shane says there, just get on with the game. We should get Harry Kane to ring the FA to get it started. Well, yeah, just give the penalty to Tottenham, and then that's it, isn't it? But anyway, it is a joke, really. I don't know why we can't just not have the technology in this one game and just play it. You know, there's a referee, there's a fourth official. Let them do it. And if they make mistakes, they make mistakes. Ultimately, it happened for years, didn't it? 100 odd years, as I say, with no technology, we got through. And I guess it would come down to whether or not the two managers agree to it. Perhaps the two clubs would have to agree, maybe. But I don't even know if they'd be able to do it because of the rules of the FA and what have you. I'm not really sure. I don't know what the situation is, but I agree. I think we should just get on with the game without technology. Just play it, and that's it. Because rearranging is going to be much more aggravation, isn't it, for everybody involved? The fans, the teams, the players, everybody. It's just, and of course the Premier League as well. But at this moment in time, there doesn't seem to have been a final decision made. The players have been off the pitch for nearly half an hour now. It is a long delay, and there doesn't seem to be a lot of sign of things changing anytime soon. So very, very frustrating for everybody involved at this moment in time, including us here, and I'm sure you guys as well. We just wanted to see some football today, and we wanted to see Arsenal, another great Arsenal performance, but it looks as though that may not be happening. I don't know how long the players would need to be off the pitch for before they decide, actually, we can't continue the game. I don't know what the situation is. I do remember that game at Wimbledon all those years ago with a floodlight failure. And that was that took a long time to actually resolve before they finally postponed the game. So I really don't know what the time frame is with all of this kind of stuff. But anyway, at this moment in time, the players are off the pitch. The game has been temporarily suspended, and we await any further updates. As I say, there's 4 Leeds players on the pitch now, just having a bit of a kickabout. Looks like there's some substitutes, possibly. They've got tracksuit on and stuff like that. But yeah, no updates at the moment, other than referee Chris Cavana did just come out of the tunnel with a football. Obviously, the issue seems to be a goal line technology issue. And yeah, there seems to be some life in the tunnel. The match is going to be resumed, we've just been told, at 20-3. We've just been told that the match will resume at 20-3. So that's 10 minutes or so. The game will be resumed. That the players are now coming back out, I would assume, for another warm-up. As was mentioned before, they need a 10-minute warm-up, won't they? Gorilla for Life says there, surely the cameras would cover every angle if there was a decision to be made. You could watch it from different angles. Yeah, possibly, but obviously if the screen next to the pitch isn't working, where would he watch it on? You know what I mean? I don't know. But anyway, they are coming back out, the players, now for a warm-up. Shane says, how long will it take a helicopter to fly new equipment from London to Leeds? Well, I don't know if they can do that. We don't know what the actual issue is, do we? Anyway, they must be confident that they can sort it out, because the players are coming back out now for a warm-up, and they're saying that the game is going to resume in about 10 minutes time. So that's good news, but it's not an ideal preparation, is it, for anybody involved in this? It is a very, very strange situation, not one that I can recall before. I say that the only other time I can remember a postponement was when the floodlights failed at Wimbledon, but this is a totally different situation. The players are now warming up again on the pitch as we prepare for a second resumption. I'm assuming that we'll just continue the game with that throw to Leeds, because that was where we stopped. We'd only played 1 minute and 20 seconds at that particular time. Anyway, the players are warming up again now, and hopefully we will be restarting the game in about 7 or 8 minutes time. And yes, very, very strange goings on here in West Yorkshire this afternoon at Elland Road. But we may well be getting some football very shortly, which will be nice, wouldn't it? Shane says there, what's the score in the other games? We can have a little look again for you. We will keep you updated with the other scores as well. Let's have a look. So in the Premier League at this moment in time, it is Aston Villa 0, Chelsea 1 still. Mason Mount with that goal. Manchester United 0, Newcastle 0, and Southampton 1, West Ham 0. Those are the scores in those games in the Premier League. And then in the WSL, the game's being played this afternoon. Man United did beat Brighton 4-0. Everton 1, Chelsea 2 goals from Pinel Harder. There, Manchester City have now taken the lead against Leicester with Bunny Shaw. So it's Manchester City 1, Leicester 0, and Tottenham are beating Liverpool 1-0 with an own goal from Fahy in that game. So they are all the scores as things stand at the moment. Of course, Arsenal women will be in action later on this afternoon. That kickoff will be at 6:45. So we'll be back at 6:30 for that one. But we are hopefully going to be bringing you a game here very, very shortly. And let's see what we can hope for here. But yeah, the players are warming up now. The Arsenal players in this bottom corner, the starting 11 anyway, having another warm up. This isn't the ideal preparation, is it, for such an important game? Jay says they're back out for the warm up now. Thankfully, yeah, exactly. Which I say they have said that the game is due to restart again very shortly. At about 5 minutes now, and hopefully we can enjoy the rest of this game. John's in the chat. Hello, John. Good to see you. He said hi, Richard, and everyone in the chat. Putin cut the power off. Quite possibly, he may well have done. Who knows? But it seems to have been a power issue, not in the stadium as such, in terms of, the scoreboard's been working, the lights are working. it seems to be more an issue with the technology in terms of goal line technology and VAR. That seems to be where the problem is. Anyway, referee Chris Cabana is now coming out with the ball again in his hands. He's now took his tracksuit top off and he's got his referee's kit on. So let's assume and let's hope, fingers crossed, that we can now actually get this game back up and under running again, because it's all been a bit of a farce so far. And we are hopefully going to be resuming this game in the next few minutes, probably next 3 or 4 minutes. We should be back with this game for you, which it should be nearly half time, shouldn't it, at this point? But it isn't. And it's, here we are in this terrible situation where we've had no football being played for 35 minutes. But we should be back and off and underway very, very soon. In fact, it looks as though it is. The referee has placed the ball over on that far touch line, which is where it went out of play before the game was stopped. Mikel Arteta is now coming back out of the tunnel as well. And I do think we're going to get some football played. So this is going to be good. It's going to be fun now. We've had some fun and games. And now we are going to hopefully get some football. Or the rest of it. We did play a minute and a half or so. And it looks as though we may well get the rest of this game played. Mikel Arteta has now gone back to sit down in the dugout here at Elland Road, in front of all the Leeds fans, sitting on his own, deep in thought, maybe hoping that this hold-up isn't going to disrupt our rhythm too much. The referee and the two linesmen are warming up as well before we will get back up and underway in this game, which is due to go back to start again in about 2 or 3 minutes. John says, is Jesus playing? He is, yeah. I mean, I'll put the teams up again for everybody. These are the teams then. So Arsenal's the same as the Liverpool game. Ramsdale, White, Saliba, Gabriel, Tomiyasu at left back, Partey, Xhaka, Saka, Ødegaard, Martinelli and Jesus. So yeah, Jesus was fit. We always thought he would be. The Leeds line-up then, it's Meslier, Christensen, Koch, Cooper and Struijk. Adams, Roca, Sinistera, Aronson, Harrison, and Rodrigo. So that's the lineups for today. Yeah, so Arsenal's the same lineup as last week against Liverpool, and let's hope that we can produce a similar performance. It's never easy, is it, when you start the game and then you have to stop and re-warm up and start again? It's difficult, isn't it? It's the same for both teams, let's be honest. So we can't say it's going to be an advantage or disadvantage to us particularly, but it's not ideal, and let's hope it doesn't ruin what would have been and what's potentially still going to be a very good game of football between two very good sides, and hopefully we can get the victory that we need. But we are still awaiting the resumption of this game. Hopefully those issues, the technical issues, which looks like it was a VAR issue, hopefully is going to be back working again very, very shortly. I think the referee's just been told to go and check the goal line technology again. So he's taking the ball over to the goal over on the right as we look, which would have been the goal that Leeds were attacking or will be attacking in this first half. I don't know if the issue is just with that one goal or whether if that goal's working, the other one will be working as well. But he's just going to try it again, Chris Cabana, just to see obviously if the signal goes off, if the ball goes over the line or not. He's just putting it in and out of the goal and bouncing it inside the goal behind the line. Let's hope that these issues have been resolved. The thing is, if it is just a goal line technology issue, how many times is that actually used in a game? Really, not very often, is it? Let's be honest. Anyway. That's the way it is, but hopefully it seems to be working. The referee's taking the ball back over to that far side and we should be back in action very soon. Shane says here, what former Leeds and Arsenal matches stand out for you? Maybe Henry returned. Yeah, of course, that was a big one, wasn't it? That FA Cup game when Henry came off the bench and scored. I mean, over the years there's been many big games between Arsenal and Leeds. I say especially in the late 60s, early 70s, they were the biggest games of the season for a few years, wasn't they? We didn't do too well in most of them. I mean, there's been some very memorable games in recent years. There was that game at Highbury when Thierry Henry scored 4 goals in the Invincible season. That was a memorable one. We won 5-0. That was a great Arsenal performance, wasn't it? That one really stands out. There was, of course, the game last season at Elland Road. We won 4-1. That was a great performance, wasn't it? Really good from Arsenal, that was. So Yeah, there's been a few down the years. We've got a decent record here. We haven't lost here since 2000, actually. Since I think it was November 2000, our last defeat at Elland Road. So it's a good recent record. 7 games here undefeated, 5 wins and 2 draws. There was that 0-0 draw, of course, recently, wasn't there? A couple of years ago when Nicolas Pepe was sent off. But we are just about to get back up and underway finally after this big delay to this game, and hopefully we will now be able to get this game played and completed, because it's been quite frustrating, hasn't it? Tony says, good afternoon, everyone. Coming you Gunners 3-1 to the Arsenal. Yeah, that'd be a good scoreline. I think we'll all settle for that, won't we? That'll be a good away win. John says, does anyone think City will drop points today? Potentially. I mean, Manchester City aren't going to drop many points, are they, this season, potentially, when you look at their squad of players. But Liverpool away is a tough game for anybody. So potentially, yes, they could well drop points today. Be nice, wouldn't it? We need to win our game, though. That's the most important thing. If we win our game and Leeds and City drop points, that's even better, isn't it? What a great weekend it'll be. But ultimately, we just need to win our game. That's what I'm focused on for now. And if we do that, then if City win, they win. But we'll still be ahead of them, won't we? But anyway, John says Leeds will be tough enough today. No, they will. You're exactly right. Anyway, we are going to get back underway. It is a throw to Leeds over on that far side, which Strike takes up that line. It's flicked on, and Gabriel's across there to head the ball clear. And then Arsenal do complete the clearance with William Saliba. Now Thomas Partey can pick the ball up. Wasn't a great clearance, actually, but Tomiyasu is going to pick up the ball. We have now got some football at Elland Road. It's gone back to 1 minute on the clock, 1.5 minutes on the clock. Leeds now coming forward down this near side. Gabriel just heads that one down to Tomiyasu. Thomas Partey is robbed, actually, in midfield. Leeds looking actually really lively here. Sinistera's coming forward. Is he going to try a shot from the edge of the box? He does try a shot. It beats Ramsdale, but it goes wide of that far post. But that was good play there from the Colombian back from suspension. The first effort in this game. He was allowed far too much space here, actually, to run at that Arsenal defence. He got towards the edge of the penalty area, tried a shot of his right foot. It beat Aaron Ramsdale. It was always going past that far post. And it remains at 0-0. But that's the first real effort. Arsenal looked a little bit shaky, actually, since the resumption of this game, to be fair. But we are in possession over on that far side. Ben White goes back to William Saliba. Applied a little bit of pressure there from Rodrigo, but does well. Finds Gabriel. We have now played 2.5 minutes. I know it seems strange when the game kicks off at 2 o'clock and it's now nearly 2:45, but we have only played 2 minutes. Thomas Partey now pings it over to that far side to Bukayo Saka, his first real involvement in this game, running at that Leeds defence. Looks for Ben White outside him, but that pass isn't going to find the former Leeds man. Of course, he played on loan, didn't he, at Leeds for a season? I think he got player of the season, didn't he, Ben White, that year he was at Leeds? The Leeds fans still look very fondly on Ben White, and he couldn't quite get that pass there from Bukayo Saka. It's gone behind for a goal kick to Leeds, which Meslier will be taking there. Ben says, how are you watch along the game? Well, I've got a stream of it, to be honest, which is quite good. And so Arsenal in possession on this near side now. Tomiyasu exchange passes there with Gabriel Martinelli, goes square to William Saliba, plays it out to the far side to Ben White. As I say, he knows this ground very well from his season on loan here, and Arsenal have just won a free kick. There was a foul there by Strike on Bukayo Saka over on that far side, and it does look as though the technical issues that we had seem to have been sorted out now, and we are now getting some football. Terry says, afternoon, Richard, and all in the chat, what's going on? I thought we would be 3-0 up by half time. Well, we may still be 3-0 up by half time, but we've only played 3-4 minutes due to a technical issue that caused the players to have to come off the pitch. It was a VAR issue, which hopefully has now been resolved, but the players were off the pitch for about 35 minutes while that issue was sorted out, and it does appear to be sorted out now. Anyway, Arsenal in possession over on the far side. William Saliba plays it into the centre circle to Thomas Partey, gets it back. Saliba plays it square to Gabriel. He's put under pressure, actually, from Aronson, and Arsenal do get it up this near side. Leeds are really putting pressure on the ball, actually, and they've just won a throw on this near side. Really good pressure that is from Leeds in these early stages here. They've now got a throw, which Christensen's going to take just in front of the Arsenal dugout. Of course, Mikel Arteta, as usual, isn't in his technical area. I don't even know why they bother putting a technical area for him, because he never stays in it, does he? Anyway, Christensen then plays this ball up the near side. It was looking for the run there of Aronson, but it's run behind for a throw to Arsenal. Leeds 0, Arsenal 0. We have only played 5 minutes, even though the time may make you think we should have played a lot longer. We should have done, but there was a big hold up due to a technical issue. But we are now back. But it is Arsenal 0, Leeds 0, sorry, Arsenal 0. 5 minutes played. Granit Xhaka now coming forward up this near side for Arsenal. We haven't found any rhythm yet at all in this game. Obviously, the disruption to the play hasn't helped us either, has it? Anyway, Saliba now plays the ball up that far side for Martin Odegaard. He finds Bukayo Saka. Arsenal now trying to find a little bit of rhythm, but Saka's pass there is cut out, and it's now gone out for a throw to Leeds over on the far side, which Sinistera has won. He's had the only real opportunity of this game so far, a shot from the edge of the box, which went just wide of that far post. And it is going to be a throw to Leeds again over on that far side, which Struijk again is going to take for the hosts in all white today. Arsenal in the black and gold kit, or all black with gold trim. It is still 0-0, but Arsenal in possession now. Granit Xhaka in midfield plays the ball to Tomiyasu on this near side. Arsenal coming forward now, looking to get a few passes together, actually try and get our rhythm back. Terry says this. So I haven't missed first half. Then what a result! No, you haven't. You've missed virtually nothing. We've only played 6 minutes of the actual game, so you haven't really missed a lot. Nothing much has happened either, apart from that one shot from Sinistera, which went just wide of the post for Leeds. Other than that, you haven't missed anything at all, Terry, which is nice, isn't it? Anyway, that's a long ball forward from Leeds, and it's going to be offside actually against Rodrigo on this near side. Quite clearly offside. He was there. The Spaniard didn't time his run right at all. It was a good run in behind actually, but Arsenal's defence stepped up well, and he was a good 5 yards offside. Ben says there, where did you get the link to the game? I've got sources, shall we say. You just have to try and search for it if you can. I haven't got a link I can share, unfortunately. I've got it on a Fire Stick. Anyway, Arsenal Leeds coming forward down this near side with Rodrigo. Back heels it into the path of the overlapping fullback Christensen, the Danish player. That's a long ball played there towards the edge of the penalty area. It's headed out by Ben White. It's going to be a throw to Leeds over on that far side. We've played 7 minutes. It is Arsenal, or Leeds 0, Arsenal 0 still, but Leeds on the attack over on that far side. They've certainly started better in this game, Leeds. And I say I don't think that disruptions really helped Arsenal at all. Anyway, the ball is now back with Ilya Meslier, the French goalkeeper for Leeds. He's a bit erratic, isn't he, their goalkeeper, Leeds? So if we can get some shots away, we may have some joy. He's a good shot stopper, but he tends to make a few errors as well, doesn't he, at times? You know, Arsenal trying to pick the ball up. But again, Leeds pressing us high up in midfield, actually. They're coming forward over the far side again with Pascal Struijk. The Dutchman plays a good ball in there to Sinistera, who looked like he was fouled by Thomas Partey, but referee says no. And Arsenal pick up possession, and the ball goes back to Aaron Ramsdale inside the Arsenal penalty area. Back in a familiar part of the world, isn't he? Yorkshire. Aaron Ramsdale, of course, another famous Yorkshire Arsenal goalkeeper, David Seaman. Aaron Ramsdale, I'm sure, wants to emulate the career that he had, both Arsenal and England. Maybe he'll get his opportunity at the World Cup. Who knows? They're also coming forward now in midfield. Thomas Partey, Granit Xhaka lays it off to Martin Odegaard. Now Tomiyasu on this near side. He's got Martinelli ahead of him. The first chance for Martinelli to run that Leeds defence. He did score twice in his fixture last season. Plays it back to Granit Xhaka. Now Martin Odegaard on the edge here. Back to Granit Xhaka. It's a little bit too tight there, and in the end, Leeds managed to pick up possession. Now they can launch a counter-attack of their own with Sinistera, who's looked very lively, actually, the Colombian in the early part of this game for Leeds. It's now with Christensen on this near side. The fullback for Leeds plays it back to captain Liam Cooper, and it goes square to Robin Koch, the German. Now it's up that far side. Leeds coming forward again, but that's a poor ball actually from Struijk, and Arsenal pick up possession with Ben White. With William Saliba. He's got Ben White outside, and he comes square instead to Gabriel, and now to Tomiyasu. Ball played through the middle. They're looking for the run of Gabriel Jesus, who's barely had a kick actually so far. And Leeds goalkeeper Meslier can play that ball long up the middle of the pitch. And now Leeds have picked up again high up the pitch. Leeds pressing well. Good play there from Thomas Partey, but the ball's fallen kindly here for Leeds. It's with Rodrigo on this near side. Cuts back inside. Tomiyasu tries a shot. It's deflected off Gabriel. And then William Saliba completes the clearance, but Leeds are looking really, really good at this point in the game and winning the ball back high up the pitch. That was Rodrigo there, cut inside Tomiyasu. I don't know if it was a shot or a cross, it got deflected, and it was William Saliba managed to complete the clearance for Arsenal. But again, Leeds have come close. We've played 10 minutes at Elland Road. It is still Leeds 0, Arsenal 0. It's been a very difficult start this for Arsenal, actually. Probably not helped by that disruption in play, and Leeds have got a throw over on that far side. But that was really good play there from Rodrigo. We said before the game he was going to be the danger. He's running at that Arsenal defence there, cut inside Tomiyasu. Got a shot. It was deflected off Gabriel, but William Saliba was there inside the 6-yard box to complete the clearance. But Arsenal not really clearing their lines at all at this moment in time. Gabriel plays it forward. Now it's picked up by Gabriel Jesus, trying to make things happen for Arsenal. Got a lucky deflection there towards Martinelli, but again, Leeds have managed to clear the ball away. But Jesus again in possession, but well won back by Leeds, who are coming forward again. It's a good ball over that far side. Looking for the run of Sinistera, but good defending that was by Ben White, I think it was, who did well there. And now Gabriel can bring the ball forward for Arsenal. Leeds have been the better team. Leeds opening 11 minutes at Elland Road. It's been a difficult start for Arsenal, but we are coming forward now with Martinelli. Plays the ball out to Erdegaard. He's got Saka outside him. He finds Bukayo Saka. He can have a run at Strike. He gets past Strike. He's under penalty. Bukayo Saka, can he pull the ball back? He can't, because it's deflected by defender Robin Cockett. Is going to be a corner to Arsenal over on the far side. That was much better from Arsenal. Erdegaard to Saka. Saka was quite prepared to take on Strike there. He got past him, but the cross was deflected behind by, in fact, it was Liam Cooper, the captain for Leeds. It's going to be a corner to Arsenal over on that far side, which Bukayo Saka is going to take Arsenal's right. He's going to swing this in with his left foot. Can Arsenal get the early lead, which you have to say we've probably against a run of play so far in this game, but we have got a corner now, an opportunity to get ourselves in front. Bukayo Saka is going to take this corner, I say, over on that far side. What's the delivery like into the near post? It's pretty good. It's flicked on by Jesus, heads it down, but it's going to be comfortable for Meslier in goal for Leeds as we come up towards the 12th minute here at Elland Road. Leeds 0, Arsenal 0. Leeds have been a better team, and they've had the best opportunity so far of the game, which was a shot from Sinistera, which went just wide. They're coming forward again now in midfield. Leeds are playing well. There's going to be a break on it up this near side. Good defensive play, though, by Martinelli. Got back and stopped that ball, reaching Christensen. Oh, that's a poor clearance from Ramsdale. It hits Gabriel. A little bit panic there from Arsenal. It's fallen to William Saliba, but he's so cool under pressure, isn't he, from Sinistera? And that's a better clearance from Ramsdale. Finds Tomiyasu. Plays the ball into midfield to Granit Xhaka, but again, Leeds have won it back high up the pitch. This isn't very good from Arsenal at all. That ball played in at two. Sinistera again. Leeds on at the front foot here. They're playing well, and they've actually just won a free kick on the edge of the box for a foul on Sinistera. They know they haven't. In fact, the referee waves play on. I thought he'd given a free kick, but he was actually waving play on. And now Arsenal have got a chance of a counter-attack with Martin Erdegaard. Pings the ball to Granit Xhaka. Now he's got Martinelli outside him. He finds the young Brazilian, Gabriel Martinelli, running at that Leeds defence. Good defensive play, though. That was there from Aronson. And he's won himself a free kick. What great work rate that was from the American there. Great stuff from him there to hold up Martinelli and win a free kick for Leeds. As I say, have been the much better team in this opening 13 minutes. Really good play that was from the American there. Aronson, Brendan Aronson for Leeds. And it is going to be a free kick to the host. Arsenal are struggling at the moment with the pressure that Leeds are putting on the ball, really pressing us high up the pitch. Every time they come forward as well, they're looking very, very dangerous. Sinistera in particular is causing us lots of problems here, actually. But that was a good opportunity on the counter-attack there from Arsenal. But again, Leeds defended it well, and they've now won a throw over on that far side again. Sinistera looks a player, doesn't he? New into the team this season for Leeds and had a big impact already, hasn't he? Got himself a couple of goals and a red card, but he's back from suspension today and he looks up for this game. But Arsenal now trying to come forward again. And Bukayo Saka, it's going to fall for over on that far side. Bukayo Saka, can he create something here? Plays it back to Martin Erdegaard. Arsenal just trying to find a little bit of flow to our play, which we haven't managed to do so far. Leeds have not allowed us to be fair to them. But we are now playing a little bit better. Gabriel coming forward for Arsenal, plays it to Tomiyasu on this near side, plays it up the line, looking for Martinelli. It wasn't a great ball, actually. Christensen cut that out, and now Leeds back in possession again. That's a good ball in midfield there from Rocker. And Leeds pick up the loose ball again with Tyler Adams, play up that far side, but that's good play from William Saliba again. Finds Aaron Ramsdale. His earlier clearance almost put Arsenal under pressure, but we got away with that one. Now Gabriel finds Tomiyasu on this near side, playing left back again. And Martinelli is held up again by Christensen, but he's going to be a throw to Arsenal in front of the Arsenal dugout on this near side. Leeds 0, Arsenal 0. We've played 15 minutes at Elland Road. It's been a good 15 minutes for Leeds, not so much for Arsenal. We've struggled to get anything going yet in this game. Leeds have come the closest to a goal with the dangerous Luis Sinistera, but Gabriel now coming forward for Arsenal, plays it in at 2 midfield to Granit Xhaka, who does well, holds off his man and finds Thomas Partey. Now it's pinged over to that far side to Ben White, finds Bukayo Saka. Arsenal starting to get going now. In 15 minutes played, Ben White puts a cross in towards the far post. Martinelli, good defending again actually from Christensen. Just got there ahead of Martinelli. Plays a good ball up the line as well actually to Rodrigo. And Leeds are actually playing really well. They look a very, very good side in this game. It seems strange that they've not won in their last 5 games in the Premier League because they're playing really well at this moment in time. And Arsenal struggling to get going so far, but William Saliba won that ball back and now he played it to Thomas Partey in to Martin Ødegaard, goes out to that far side to Ben White, plays it up the line to Bukayo Saka, comes in, Bukayo Saka does well, finds Ødegaard again. It was going to be a free kick, the referee plays on. This is a good ball now to Martinelli on the edge of the box, plays the ball square to Tomiyasu. He's going to try a shot of his right foot, he doesn't, instead he pings it out to that far side to Saka again, does well, Bukayo Saka. Now it's into the box to Martin Ødegaard. It just runs away from Ødegaard and it runs through to the goalkeeper, Meslier. And another Arsenal attack comes to nothing. But Arsenal's starting to get our passing together now. So it's been a difficult start. It's been a slow start for Arsenal. But we are now starting to settle down and get into this game. But Leeds in possession currently in their defence coming forward. Now it's Christensen on this near side who looks, he's had a good start to this game, the Dane. But Granit Xhaka now in possession finds Martin Ødegaard, the Arsenal captain, just inside the centre circle, goes back to Thomas Partey. Now it's out to the far side to Ben White. And Ben White's attempted pass deflects off Sinistera, and it is a throw to Arsenal over on that far side. Ben White is going to take this in front of those Leeds fans who still, they've still got a lot of good words to say about Ben White after his loan spell there a couple of seasons ago when he was still at Brighton. He had a good season on loan here at Leeds. And he's in possession again back at Elland Road. Plays that ball back up the line. Just about kept in there by William Saliba. And now it's gone back to Aaron Ramsdale midway the side at the Arsenal half. Plays it to Tomiyasu on this near side. Back again to Gabriel. It goes back to Aaron Ramsdale. I think Arsenal just looking to try and get a little bit more control of the ball as we move in towards the first 20 minutes here. We've played at 17 and a half. Gabriel now coming forward, finds Tomiyasu on this near side. Tomiyasu is put under pressure from Aronson, who certainly works hard, that American, doesn't he, for Leeds. But William Saliba now in possession for Arsenal, plays it out to that far side to Ben White, Arsenal's right, looks for Bukayo Saka, but that pass was cut out easily enough. And the ball has gone through to Aaron Ramsdale. It is still Leeds 0, Arsenal 0 here at Elland Road. It's been a very tricky opening 18 minutes here for Arsenal, but they're coming forward now. Tomiyasu finds that Gabriel Martinelli cuts in from that left-hand side, plays the ball in at 2. Martin Ødegaard. Can he try a shot from the edge of the box with his left foot? He does. I think it hit his own teammate, Gabriel Jesus, actually, but he's going to fall to Bukayo Saka right over on that far side, trying to get across in. Instead, he finds Martin Ødegaard again. He dinks across towards the far post. Martinelli's going to be there. Good hands actually there from the goalkeeper, Meslier. Looked as though Martinelli was going to get ahead there at the far post, but good goalkeeping by the young Frenchman in goal for Leeds. And it is going to be Leeds back in position. That was a good cross, actually. I think he may just have been offside, Martinelli. Very tight it would have been, but it doesn't matter because he didn't get the ball. And, of course, VAR's not working anyway. Hopefully it will be, but we'll see. Anyway, Leeds coming forward now inside the centre circle. Arsenal just had a slightly better spell there for a couple of minutes there. A little bit more possession for Arsenal. Rodrigo now very deep. Pings the ball over that far side. That's a good play, actually, by Rodrigo. Sinistera now coming forward for Leeds. He has had a good start to this game. Pings a shot in at an near post. It hits the side netting. Wow, that was another close call there. It was Sinistera again. He's looking very, very good. What a player he is. Didn't know too much about him before a few weeks ago when he turned up at Leeds, but he's certainly having a good start. He ran at that Arsenal defence and cut inside onto his right foot, and the shot must have got a deflection there, or did Ramsdale get a touch to it? Looked like it went straight into the side netting, actually, but Leeds have got a corner out of that. Not quite sure how. We're coming up towards the 20-minute mark. Leeds have got their first corner over on that far side. It's going to be Aronson. Look like he might be taking this. It is going to be Aronson. Whips it in towards the edge of the 6-yard box. Header comes in. It's bobbling around in the 6-yard box. A good save from Ramsdale. I don't know who managed to get that shot away, but it was great save that was there from Aaron Ramsdale from very, very close range. The ball was bobbling around the Arsenal 6-yard box. The cross comes back in again, and Ramsdale's there again. Leeds came very, very close to taking the lead there. Good save from Ramsdale, but now Arsenal looking to counter-attack very quickly over on that far side. Coming forward now with Bukayo Saka. Tries to play the ball inside to Martin Odegaard. He does get it now. Finds Granit Xhaka. He's got Tomiyasu outside him and Martinelli now inside the Leeds penalty area. Martinelli plus the play across back to Xhaka. It's coming all the way to Odegaard. Is it going to be a goal at the far post? Oh, a shot comes in. It was Gabriel Jesus, but it's gone over the top. I'm not sure if Matchday got a touch to it. That was a couple of exciting moments of football there. Leeds going close at one end, a great save from Ramsdale, and then Arsenal almost taking the lead. It was Martinelli's cross. It came all the way through to the far post to Jesus. He tried to tip it over the goalkeeper, Matchday. In fact, the goalkeeper didn't get a touch. It's just over the top, and it is going to be a goal kick. They're just showing the effort at the other end. It was a header came in. Gabriel couldn't really get the ball away. It was bobbling around inside the penalty area. A few leads. It was a poke forward there from Strike. It was on target. A good save, actually, from Ramsdale. He wouldn't have seen that till very, very late. And that was a good save. And then Jesus shot over at the other end. It was really real end-to-end stuff at this moment in time at Elland Road. We're midway through the first half due to that long delay for technical issues earlier on. A power cut apparently affecting VAR. But anyway, Arsenal are now coming forward. Thomas Partey finds Ben White over on that far side. Coming forward for Arsenal, plays it into Granit Xhaka on the edge of the penalty area. Comes across now to Martinelli. He's got a little bit of space. Martinelli, can he get a shot away? And the edge of the box he does, but it's blocked again by a combination of Aronson and Christensen. Aronson's a good player as well, isn't he? Leeds are playing well in this game. But Arsenal starting to get on top, get a little bit more control now in midfield. Arsenal are. Martin Odegaard now in possession, plays it in to Thomas Partey. He's got two players in his way and he can't get through. And Leeds now can launch a counter-attack themselves with Rodrigo. He goes past two challenges there. The Spaniard, he's got support from Sinistera outside him. He finds his teammate there, Sinistera. Can he get a cross in? He finds it back to Rodrigo. A shot comes in. It's blocked by William Saliba, it was. And now Arsenal can get the ball away with Gabriel Martinelli on a run up this near side. He's done really well. Martinelli's got a lot of space. He's run 40 yards. And he keeps possession as well. Plays the ball back to Granit Xhaka. Arsenal now coming forward again. Martin Odegaard. Can Arsenal get an opportunity here to get that lead? Martin Odegaard chips the ball, looking for that run there of Martinelli. But having just run 40 yards with a ball, he wasn't going to be able to chase after that cross. And it has gone behind for a goal kick to Leeds. But Arsenal now starting to look a little bit more threatening now. And we've created one or two half chances. But still, Leeds have had the better opportunities. And that effort from Strike from that corner, good save from Aaron Ramsdale, kept the score at 0-0. And it's been a good start from Leeds still, though. We have played, 24 minutes now, 23 minutes here at Elland Road. Leeds coming forward again with Aronson in midfield. He's done really well, the American. He looks a very good player as well. And Leeds knocking the ball around well. It's actually, watching the way Leeds are playing here, it's surprising to me that they are struggling so far down the league, actually, because they do look a very good team with some really good players. Rodrigo's great, Sinistera's great, Aronson's great. They've got some really, really good players, Leeds, and they're playing really well. But it is still 0-0, but Leeds are in possession now with Koch on this near side. Robin Koch coming forward for Leeds, plays it to Christensen, who's played well, actually, the right back against Martinelli. He's done well. But it is Leeds now coming forward with Roca. Mark Roca plays that ball up the line. Actually, this is Sinistera again. Can he get across the near post? Does Rodrigo? Gets there. Flicks a shot towards goal. It comes off Gabriel. It is going to be another corner to Leeds. Another good attack there from the home team. He got a little bit too easily down that far side there, Sinistera. It's a good cross. Rodrigo flicked it towards goal. and it's come off Gabriel's chest, and it is going to be another corner to Leeds. Excuse me. From Leeds' last corner, of course, they did nearly score, didn't they? That effort from Strike, which produced a good save from Aaron Ramsdale. I think it's going to be Aronson again with the corner over on that far side. It is. This time it's deeper towards the edge of the 6-yard box. A good head from an Arsenal defender, Saliba. Shot comes in again from the edge of the box. It was blocked by Thomas Partey, I think it was, but still Leeds in possession. A ball recycled back over on that far side. Is it going to be kept in by Aronson? Not quite. And it's going to go out for a throw to Arsenal. But Leeds look dangerous from set pieces, don't they? It was Adams, it was actually, with a shot from the edge of the box. Tyler Adams, the other American in this Leeds team. But that shot was blocked. And that Ben White is now going to take this throw for Arsenal in front of those Leeds fans over on that far side. I say Leeds fans that know Ben White very well, following his spell there on loan a couple of seasons ago. But Leeds again in possession. Thomas Partey wins it back for Arsenal now. Gabriel can come forward. He's got Tomiyasu ahead of him. Tomiyasu now on his near side, Arsenal's left, coming forward for Arsenal. It's certainly been a very open at 25 minutes. Maybe that break has helped the game as a spectacle. Certainly it hasn't necessarily helped Arsenal particularly, as we are still struggling against the Leeds press and against their real quick counter-attacking football as well. They have caused us a lot of problems, but we are in possession now. But that's going to be a loose ball. No, it's kept in well actually by Ben White from Gabriel. Gets it back again. Gabriel Jesus can bring the ball forward for Arsenal. Lays it off to Martin Ødegaard. Now it goes back to Saliba. Just rolls the ball square to Gabriel, and he gets it back again. William Saliba. And Arsenal had a lot more possession in this game, 64% to 36% for Leeds. But Leeds have certainly used the ball a lot better in the attacking third. Certainly, they've created a lot more opportunities, haven't they? Saliba does well again against Rodrigo, finds Gabriel. Can Arsenal get themselves in front in what has been a very, very difficult game so far? Now it's back again with William Saliba. Plays the ball over that far side to Bukayo Saka. He's got past one defender. Can he get past another one there in Rocker? No, he can't. Mark Rocker there wins that tackle, but it's going to be a throw to Arsenal, which Bukayo Saka is going to take. As you know, he's not. He's going to leave it to Ben White. 27 minutes played here at Elland Road. It is Leeds United 0, Arsenal 0 in what has been a difficult game for Arsenal. There's no question about that. But we are coming forward now inside the penalty area with Gabriel Jesus, but he was dispossessed. And now Leeds can come forward again over on that far side. That's good play. Sinistera again for Leeds. They are playing really well, Leeds, in this game so far. They're coming forward now, looking to try to get the first goal. They've certainly looked a more dangerous team, haven't they? But as things stand, Arsenal are holding firm. It is still 0-0. Sinistera now plays the ball square to Robin Koch. He's got a little bit of space. It wasn't a great ball actually to Christensen, but he does well again against Martinelli. Actually, he looks a decent player as well. Actually, today the right back for Leeds, the Dane, Rasmus Christensen. That's a good ball up the line, but Tomiyasu's there in front of Brendan Aronson. It goes back to Aaron Ramsdale, and he just rolls it out to William Saliba over on that far side. The Frenchman, what a start he's had to his Premier League career. Plays the ball square to Gabriel. Gabriel now gives it back again to William Saliba. Arsenal certainly enjoying the vast majority of possession now. We've settled down, but Leeds still look much more dangerous when they get the ball. They get it forward really, really quickly. And they've got a lot of pace and quality, haven't they, in the forward areas. Rodrigo, Sinistera, Aronson, all looking dangerous. But Arsenal are growing into this game the longer it's going on. And are slightly getting a lot more control now. Gabriel Jesus bringing it forward for Arsenal, does really well. Gabriel Jesus tried to thread it through to Bukayo Saka over on that far side, but he felt he was fouled actually as he played that pass. But referee Chris Kavanagh says no, and Leeds now back in possession with Christensen on this near side. When Tomiyasu won the ball back high up the pitch, so he's done really well. Now Arsenal got an opportunity, Gabriel Jesus, but he ran straight into trouble. And Leeds pick up the ball again. It was Rocker that he ran into, the Spaniard. And now Leeds trying to come forward themselves on the counter-attack with Jack Harrison who's not had that much impact so far in this game, Jack Harrison. We know what a great player is. In fact, he lets that ball run instead to Aronson, and now Rodrigo in possession for Leeds on this near side. That's a good ball played through now to Harrison. Is he offside? I think the flag stayed down. Harrison's inside the penalty area for Leeds. Can he get a shot or a crossing? He's held up well there. Good play though from Gabriel. Good defending that was there. Leeds though still in possession. Aronson now whips the ball to that far post, but there's no Leeds player there. But again, Leeds look very, very threatening, don't they, when they come forward? That was good play there. Harrison looks like he may have been offside, but the flag stayed down. He got into the penalty area. It was a very tight angle for a shot. He played it back instead to Rocker. His ball back to Aronson, and that cross just went harmlessly wide of the post. But Leeds will be very pleased with how they've played in this opening at 29 minutes at Elland Road. The fans will be delighted with the performance that Leeds have produced. They will maybe feel a little bit unfortunate they haven't scored with some of the opportunities that they've had. But that was a good counter-attack again from Leeds. Every time they come forward, they're showing real good quality. Rodrigo has been at the heart of a lot of things. And in fact, he was offside, Jack Harrison there. So that had Leeds scored from that attack, it wouldn't have counted. Because VAR, even though it wasn't earlier working, would have disallowed that. But anyway, it wasn't a goal. It went harmlessly behind in the end, a cross from Aronson. But yeah, he was offside, Jack Harrison, as we assumed he was. We looked at it, he looked offside, didn't it? And when that cross came in, it was there was no Leeds player there anyway. Arsenal now back in possession again with William Saliba. Plays the ball up his near side to Tomiyasu. Not put under too much pressure there. He can go back to Gabriel, and then he goes square to William Saliba for Arsenal. It's been a very open game, hasn't it? Leeds are quite prepared to get the ball forward quickly at every opportunity, and they have stretched out Arsenal defence. But we've certainly gained a lot more control in this game in the last 15 minutes or 10 or 15 minutes. We are coming forward again through Martin Ødegaard. It's nice play from Arsenal over on the far side. Intricate passing to Ødegaard. Finds Thomas Partey inside at the centre circle again for Arsenal. This is better, but again, Leeds are there to put us under pressure and win the ball back. And that's been a feature of this game so far. It has been Leeds doing that pressure, but Arsenal now can come forward, can they, with Gabriel Jesus? He puts it onto Martinelli. Martinelli with the opportunity for Arsenal inside the penalty area. Looked like it might have been a foul, actually, on Gabriel Jesus. I think it was just before, but play's allowed to continue. But Martinelli fires into the side netting. And Jesus has gone down injured. Of course, there was concerns he might not start this game, Jesus, due to an injury that he picked up earlier in the week. In fact, I think the referee's called it back for that free kick, actually, the foul on Jesus. In fact, he has. He has called it back for the free kick, in actual fact. So the effort for Martinelli was irrelevant anyway. Shane says there, I find Ødegaard so frustrating at times. Yes, I do as well. I understand why. He is a frustrating sort of player, isn't he? At times, but he has got quality as well. But Jesus was fouled just on the edge of the area there by, was it Struijk that fouled him? And it is going to be a free kick, even though the ball did fall to Martinelli just inside the penalty area. The referee had already given the free kick to Arsenal, which we will be going to be taking very, very shortly. So, yeah, let's see what this can bring for Arsenal. An opportunity, hopefully, for a chance to get ourselves in front, because it's been a difficult first half. We kind of anticipated it would be a difficult first half. I'm not quite sure if we was expecting it to be quite as difficult as it's been, actually. But anyway, it has been a difficult game, and but it is still Leeds 0, Arsenal 0. We played 33 and a half minutes. Of course, there was that big delay. That's why you may not. You might have been expecting it to be half time now, or actually, no, you've expected it to be into the second half, but it isn't. It is still in the first half. 33 and a half minutes, nearly 34 minutes played. Arsenal coming forward now with Tomiyasu, finds Martinelli on his near side, plays it back to Gabriel, now to William Saliba. plays it into the centre circle to Thomas Partey. He's closed down, but he does well, Thomas Partey, and manages to thread the ball up this near side to Gabriel Martinelli. Can have a little bit of a run now at the Leeds defence. Gabriel Martinelli, he goes through 2 or 3 challenges, but Leeds pick the ball up and now in possession. Oh, that's a wild play there from Rodrigo, actually, over to the far side. Bukayo Saka wins a header. Now it's with Martin Ødegaard coming forward for Arsenal, plays it into the box. Bukayo Saka, can he get there from a tight angle? He scored! Bukayo Saka from a tight angle there. It was a mistake from Rodrigo. Bukayo Saka's onto it, and from a really tight angle, Bukayo Saka has scored again. Wow, that's his 5th goal of the season. He's on a good run of form now, isn't he? What a finish that was from a tight angle. Smashed it in to the top corner from over on that far side. And it is a goal to Arsenal. Very strange ball from Rodrigo. Saka headed it into Ødegaard. Ødegaard played it back to Saka. And from a tight angle, Saka has fired it in. And it is. Goalkeeper beating at his near post. He won't be happy with that, will he? In fact, Leeds won't be happy to concede a goal like that when they've played so well. Terry says Saka 1-0, get in there indeed. And Shane says, well, yeah, against the run of play in many ways. That's a great finish from a very tight angle. Smashed it into that top corner. Well, how did he get that in there? Really poor play from Leeds, but that's a great finish. That's great play from Arsenal to make the most of that mistake. And Arsenal lead after 35 minutes, here at Elland Road. Leeds 0, Arsenal 1. Wow. Goal against the run of play. Leeds now trying to come back straight away. Tomiyasu's there and kicks the ball out of play. And it's been a difficult first 35 minutes for Arsenal, but we've managed to get ourselves in front with that goal from Bukayo Saka. But it is a throw to Leeds now on the near side in line with the Arsenal penalty area, which Christensen's going to take. Leeds now looking for an instant response to that goal from Arsenal, from Bukayo Saka. And Leeds will feel a little bit frustrated by that, I'm sure. Rodrigo in particular, who played that rather strange ball into trouble for his team. And Saka made the most of it. The ball dinked up the line there by Tomiyasu, but Leeds get possession, but it has gone out for a throw to Arsenal on this near side. The Arsenal fans now in good voice as we lead at Elland Road again. Saka, of course, did score in his fixture last season as well, didn't he? Up that same end of the pitch as well. It was a great finish from him. John says, yeah, Saka is playing well. He is at the moment. He's in really good form, isn't he? He had a bit of a slow start to the season, but he's getting there now. Tony says they're lovely. That's what I'm talking about, indeed. Yeah, it was a very, very good finish from a very tight angle. I think the goalkeeper will be very disappointed to be beaten at his near post like that, but it was a great finish. Leeds now pick up possession again in midfield. They're certainly not out of this game, are they, Leeds? You have to say they have played well, but Arsenal now looking a lot more assured. That was a good run forward there from Gabriel, and he's then fouled by Tyler Adams. It is going to be a free kick to Arsenal just on halfway. It is, as we say, Leeds 0, Arsenal 1. And it has been, it's been a difficult first half for Arsenal, but we've managed to find a way to get the lead. And that is the sign of a great team, isn't it? You know, when you're not always on top of games, when you're not necessarily playing as well as you can, to be able to find a way to get a goal out of nothing almost. And it was a mistake by Leeds, but it was well played by Saka and Ødegaard over on that far side, and Saka finished well. And it is a 1-0. And at this point in the afternoon, Arsenal will be 4 points clear at the top of the table. That's a long ball over the top, looking for the run there of Martin Ødegaard, but that ball's run through to Ilya Meslier. I did say he had a mistake in him. I wouldn't say it was a big mistake by the goalkeeper, but he'll be disappointed to be beaten at his near post like that. And Arsenal do lead 1-0 again, which is great to see. But now Arsenal in possession in midfield with Thomas Partey, plays the ball back to William Saliba, who again has looked solid and strong at the back, hasn't he? Finds Ben White, tries to go around at Sinistera, but wasn't able to. And the Colombian takes the ball off him. And now this is a good run from Sinistera. And then he's fouled by Ben White, who clearly showed a little bit of frustration there that he was beaten so easily before. And it's going to be a free kick to Leeds. but no yellow card. In fact, there hasn't been a yellow card yet, has there, in this first half? It was Sinistera there with the run, and he was just pushed over there by Ben White. Leeds have taken a free kick quickly. We're into the last 6 minutes of the first half. A difficult first half from Arsenal, but ultimately it's been a good first half because we do lead. Martinelli now coming forward. Nice play from Martinelli. Plays out to that far side to Bukayo Saka, the goal scorer. His 5th goal of the season. He's on a good run at the minute. He did score a winning goal, of course, the other night, didn't he, in Norway. That goal was a slightly more fortuitous finish than this one, and Bukayo Saka's just conceded a foul there on the Leeds defender, Pascal Struijk. And it's going to be a free kick to Leeds now as we move in towards the last 5 minutes of the first half. Yes, it is still the first half. Those of you expecting maybe we're into the second half by now, no, we're not. It is still the first half. It was a big delay, about 35-minute delay in that first half there when there was a power failure on VAR and the goal line technology wasn't working and the players had to go off and come back on again. But we finally got going again about 25-3, having played a minute at the initially in the game. A mistake at the back there by Arsenal, actually. Gabriel and Tomiyasu getting in a bit of a muddle, and Rodrigo has managed to keep the ball in on this near side. He want to make up for that mistake for the goal. It wasn't a great ball outside, and Rodrigo again. And in fact, it was offside, was it? And it's going to be a free kick to Arsenal. John says that Odegaard seems to take a cautious approach at times, even when he's in a good shooting area. He does. I mean, he did have a shot a bit earlier on, which was blocked. But yeah, he does tend to take the cautious approach. John says it was a quick first half. It seems to have been a very long first half because we're still in it now. We've played 40 minutes of the game, and yeah, it has been a very long first half because it seems the stream's been on an hour and a half, and we haven't even played the first half yet. So it's been a long first half. But anyway, we are now into the last 4 minutes of it, and ultimately it's been a successful first half for Arsenal so far because we do lead 1-0 with that goal from Bukayo Saka. Coming forward now, looking for another goal. Martin Odegaard does well in midfield there, actually, Martin Odegaard. But he was then dispossessed by Liam Cooper, it was. But Arsenal picked up possession again over on that far side. But Leeds again have battled well for possession. You have to say they've played well, Leeds, in this game. They really have. And let's bear in mind, they haven't lost at home yet this season either. As this game certainly isn't won at this point here. But Leeds are coming forward over on this near side. Are they going to win a throw? They're not. Arsenal keep it in, actually. Good play from Thomas Partey. Now Tomiyasu plays it back to Gabriel. And that's a nice little triangle there from Arsenal, playing their way out of trouble. Martinelli now, again, they've been pressed. Plays it in to Thomas Partey. Arsenal taking a risk, and we've lost possession high up the pitch, actually. This is Rodrigo. He wanted some support over on that far side. He didn't get it. Instead, he found Tyler Adams. That's a ball dinked into the box, but it's going to go all the way through to Aaron Ramsdale. Rodrigo wanted some support outside there. He didn't get it. Again, Arsenal have lost the ball in a dangerous position. They're coming forward again. Leeds over on that far side, but William Saliba's there, as you would expect, nice and calm. And now Thomas Partey can turn away and bring the ball forward for Arsenal. Finds Granit Xhaka over on this near side. Finds Martinelli now. Gabriel Martinelli scored twice here last season. He's been kept fairly quiet in this game so far. He's had 1 or 2 good moments. But Arsenal now coming forward over on that far side. William Saliba in possession, plays the ball. Ben White in possession, plays the ball to William Saliba. Now it's with Gabriel. We are now into the last 2 minutes of the first half here at Elland Road. It is Leeds 0, Arsenal 1. That goal from Bukayo Saka after 35 minutes. But Leeds had 2 or 3 good opportunities before that to take the lead, actually. A good save from Aaron Ramsdale there was from Pascal Struijk earlier on in this game, and now Thomas Partey just conceded a free kick inside the centre circle for Leeds, who are looking to try to get the equaliser following that goal from Saka. Leeds are coming forward again now. The ball played up to this near side to Christensen, plays it back again to Robin Koch, plays it square to Rocker. Leeds keeping possession now as we're into the last 90 seconds of normal time at the end of this first half. There hasn't actually been any stoppages in this first half. Since the resumptions, there's been no trainers on the pitch, there's been no injuries, there's been nothing. So I'm not assuming there's going to be very much stoppage time at all, if any. Maybe a minute. They usually find a minute from somewhere, don't they? Meslier now for Leeds goes forward up that far side looking for Sinistera. But who's there? William Saliba, of course, as he has been most of this game. And Aaron Ramsdale then clears the ball to Tomiyasu, who's put under pressure. Actually, Aronson's gone through. Mistake from Tomiyasu. Leeds have got a player over here. Shot comes in from the edge of the box, just over the top of the bar there from Jack Harrison. But again, Leeds pressure puts Arsenal in problems there. Tomiyasu, it was that time, caught in possession. And the ball fell to Jack Harrison on the edge of the box. Arsenal creating their own problems, actually, more than anything else. And Tomiyasu was robbed of possession there. Briefly, the ball from Jack Harrison needed to go quicker to Sinistera, just over on that far side. As soon as he didn't play it first time, the door was shut, and then he had no option other than to shoot. It's gone over the bar. We are now into the last 30 seconds of normal time at the end of this first half. A first half that's been very entertaining watch. And it's been a good one for Arsenal overall because we do lead 1-0. But Leeds have certainly been a threat. And this game is nowhere near one yet. John says there, Chelsea 2 up on Villa. Are they? Okay, well, when we get to half time, we will go through all the scores actually. We can catch up with that. Bukayo Saka just got an injury over on that far side. It was a foul by Struijk, and it is going to be a free kick to Arsenal. We are now into stoppage time, and there will be a minute of stoppage time at the end of the first half. Yeah, I didn't think there'd be a lot more than that. The game has flowed pretty nicely, actually, hasn't it? It's flowed along pretty well. But there is going to be a free kick to Arsenal. We are into that minute of stoppage time now. Patrick Bamford's actually getting some instructions from the coach for Leeds. Maybe we will see Patrick Bamford at some point in the second half, maybe. Or he might come on at half time potentially. Anyway, Gabriel Jesus now plays the ball out to that far side, gets it back again. Now it's been with Ødegaard. Can he try a shot from the edge of the box? He does, but it's straight into the arms of goalkeeper Meslier. We were saying we wanted Ødegaard to shoot more, and he certainly did then. He played a nice little 1-2 there with Gabriel Jesus, got the ball back on the edge of the box, but the shot was too straight at the goalkeeper. And we have now played a minute. And there goes the half-time whistle. It's been a decent first half, a good first half of football, and a decent first half from Arsenal. Leeds had the much better opportunities in the first 20-25 minutes or so. The big one was, of course, Struijk's shot from a corner, which produced a great save from Aaron Ramsdale. But Arsenal weathered the storm and finally got the lead. 35 minutes. A mistake from Rodrigo. Tried to play the ball from right to left. It wasn't a great ball. Bukayo Saka cut it out, find Ødegaard. Ødegaard gave it back to Saka from a tight angle. Saka was able to fire the ball in to the roof of the net at the near post, and that's the only goal of this first half. It's been a good game of football, and I say Leeds will feel a little bit unfortunate that they're behind because they've played well, you have to say, but ultimately Arsenal have got the lead, and that's all we are worried about. So let's have a look then at the other scores then, shall we, in the Premier League. Let's see what's going on around the other scores. So it's Aston Villa 0, Chelsea 2. Mason Mount with both goals for Chelsea. Manchester United 0, Newcastle 0, and Southampton 1, West Ham 1. Declan Rice has equalised for Chelsea after Perrault had scored for Southampton. So now the scores, obviously all those games are midway through the second half now due to the delay that we had here in the first half. We're of course just at half time. So they're the other scores then. So Aston Villa 0, Chelsea 2, Man United 0, Newcastle 0, Southampton 1, West Ham 1. Of course, Liverpool against Manchester City to come a bit later on as well. And in the WSL, of course, we'll be covering the Arsenal game later against Reading. The scores then full time at Manchester United 4, Brighton 0, Everton 1, Chelsea 3 is full time. Naomi Childs got a third goal for Chelsea in stoppage time. Manchester City are still 1-0 up against Leicester. That's Bunny Shaw. Tottenham are still 1-0 up against Liverpool. That was an own goal from Fahy after just 11 minutes. And then, of course, Reading against Arsenal to come later on. So Chelsea did get the win in the end. It was 1-1 for a brief short while. Buchanan scored an own goal. She struggled to settle at Chelsea. She gave away a penalty against Liverpool. She scored an own goal today. Anyway. It did finish 3-1 to Chelsea in the end. A few results from the Women's Championship. Charlton 2, Blackburn 0, Palace 0, Sunderland 2, Durham 2, Lewes 1. Coventry are losing 5-0 at home to London Lionesses, and Bristol City are winning 3-0 at Sheffield United. Both those games are midway through the second half. So they are your updated scores. scores on the doors today, but the only score that we're actually that bothered about at this moment in time is here at Elland Road. It's Leeds 0, Arsenal 1. Bukayo Saka with the goal. And as things stand, Arsenal are 4 points clear at the top of the Premier League. Of course, Liverpool are playing against Liverpool. And Man City are playing Liverpool, of course, later on this afternoon. So we'll have to see what happens in that particular game. But as I said before, if we win our game, then that's all that matters, doesn't it? What other teams do is irrelevant, really. We just keep winning our games, and nobody can catch us because we are. In fact, what we need to do is we just play this. And we are top of the league still, and hopefully after this game and after all these games this weekend, we'll still be top of the league. And that was, for me, that performance in that first half was the performance of a team who've got belief that they can go on to do some great things this season. You know, we've had to overcome some difficulties. And it's been a tough game, hasn't it? But ultimately, what we've done is we have put ourselves in a great position now with that goal. But it's certainly not over, is it? Let's see what the situation is. Terry says there, shame Chelsea beat Everton 3-1. Yeah, it is a shame, but you know, again, the women just have to keep winning our games, don't we? Which hopefully we will later on. John says there, I think Villa fans will want Gerrard gone. Yeah. Possibly, you're possibly right. Maybe they will. Phil says there, he's a top lad indeed. And Terry says there, Gerrard isn't doing too well lately. He hasn't done too well since he took over, really, has he? Let's be honest. It hasn't really worked out for him now. John says exactly, yeah. So, yeah, I mean, that's a good Arsenal performance, that, you know, and in difficult circumstances. But Leeds have shown they're a threat, and we need to be really, really focused for the second half. We really need to show what we're about, and if we, we've shown that we can obviously cause them problems on the counter attack ourselves. But they've also been very, very dangerous, haven't they? So yeah, this game's certainly not over. It's not won by any means. We do need to keep going, and let's hope we can. We need a second goal, don't we? To be honest, I do feel as though if we get the second goal, that will probably be enough to seal the deal for us, and hopefully put us in a very good position to win this game. But I'll say Leeds have been a threat. They've caused us problems, and we'll see what happens in the second half. John says there, as time goes on and Europa League gets more competitive, does Arteta play first team or concentrate on Premier League? Well, that's going to be interesting, isn't it? I mean, we've seen, haven't we, in previous years when we've had a good run in the Europa League. Of course, if you remember the Emery season where we got to the Europa League final, we did make some changes in the league games in the run up to that. And of course, we dropped some points, didn't we, which cost us the top four in the league. It's a difficult one, especially as things stand with our squad. Now, you can see with Mikel Arteta, what he's doing is he's generally, for the Premier League games, he's been picking pretty much the same team, hasn't he, most weeks? Yes, occasional changes here and there. Tomiyasu coming at left back last week and stuff like that. But overall, it's a fairly settled team, isn't it? Obviously, when Partey was out, he had to replace him and, you know, one thing or another. But generally, if the players are fit, he tends to pick the same 11. Now, yes, when the Europa League does get more competitive in the second half of the season, bearing in mind the World Cup would have been through as well. Hopefully, all our players come back fit. But yeah, it's going to be tricky, isn't it? Actually, what he decides to do. I mean, I think a lot of it may depend on the position that we're in the Premier League. I mean, let's be honest, right? The finishing in the top four or winning the Europa League, the prize is the same. Champions League football next season. Now, personally, if I had to choose one or the other, I think I would choose winning the Europa League. One, because it's a trophy, and I do feel winning trophies is what us as a club, Arsenal, should be doing. And also as well, we haven't won enough European trophies. So of course, I would rather win the Europa League. But the league position is really, really important as well, isn't it? You know, especially as we haven't finished in the top four for a very long time, since 2016, 6 years. It's a long time to be out of the top four, isn't it? When we was in it for 21 years in a row. So Obviously, ideally, we want to be able to do both, finish in the top 4 and win the Europa League. But is the squad strong enough? When it gets to that, later on in the season, when you've got the quarterfinal, semi-final of the Europa League, 1 week after another, in between some very, very important league games, do we have the strength and depth to get through that? I'm not sure if we do. We'll see what January brings us in terms of transfer window, but it's going to be tough, isn't it? It is going to be tough, and I think ultimately we may have to sacrifice one or the other to enable us to reach our goal, which is Champions League football. But we'll obviously, I suppose, it's going to depend where we are in the league when it comes to March time and April time, isn't it? Whereabouts we are and what situation that we're in. But yeah, obviously, as fans, what we want to see is lots and lots of big games and us competing for everything, don't we? That's what we want to see. And hopefully when it comes to March and April, we'll be competing to finish in the top 4 and in Europe. That's what we want. But ultimately, is the squad big enough? Is something going to have to be sacrificed to enable us to achieve our goal? Quite possibly. I do think quite possibly it will. But we'll have to wait and see what happens. Terry says there, I still think we need to strengthen in January. 100%. Absolutely, we need to strengthen, Terry. Yeah, I totally agree with you. I think that the problem that we've got is we're only 2 key injuries away from really being in trouble, aren't we? Partey, we've already seen we struggled to get some good form when Partey was injured. If Jesus is out, it worries me. Saka, Martinelli, really key players. Saliba as well. If Saliba's out, think of that. Who's going to come in there? Rob Holding. Would we want Rob Holding to play 10, 12 Premier League games? Would we be confident with that alongside Gabriel, who's been a bit shaky this season? So yeah, these are problems. They are. John says that I prefer to win Europa League, finish top 4 and a good run in the FA Cup. Maybe too much to ask. Yeah, I mean, I think with our current squad, it would be. I think that would be incredible if we were to achieve all of those things. Would be a fantastic job, wouldn't it? But ultimately, I still feel as though we're short in depth. We are. So ultimately, the goal for this season has got to be played this time next year. We've got to be playing in the Champions League. We've got to be looking forward to a Champions League midweek game. And how we achieve that, I'm not overly concerned with. Yes, winning the Europa League would be great. Let's be honest, it would be fantastic. But if we saw in 2019 when everything was resting on, we had to win the Europa League to get Champions League. It was all or nothing in that sense, and we wasn't able to do it. It'd be better to go into the Europa League final when we're already in the top 4, wouldn't it? Then there's that little bit less pressure, and hopefully then we could express ourselves more and win the game. But we'd see. Terry says he agrees with John. Yeah, I think I do as well, definitely. Jay says Ben White would play in place of Saliba, you'd assume. Yeah, possibly. But then we've got the left back issue if Zinchenko's out. Yeah, you may be right. And then Jay says Tommy or Cedric playing on the right. Yeah, I mean, yeah, maybe that would happen. Perhaps it would. We would have to see. But yeah, it's not a situation I want to envisage really, because William Saliba has been so important, hasn't he? He's been our best defender this season by an absolute mile. So, but any player can get an injury at any time. We know that, and we just got to hope and pray that we don't suffer too badly. Yes, I expect every single player is going to miss a game or 2 along the way, aren't they? And you can cope with 1 or 2 games, let's be honest. But if it's 5, 6, 7, 10 games for some of these key players, that could be a little bit beyond us, wouldn't it? Jay says there, yeah, preferably Saliba stays. Yeah, exactly. That's what we want, but you can't guarantee it, can you? You don't know when injuries are going to come and who's going to get them and what the situation is. But yeah, let's hope we can avoid too many serious injuries. And if we do, I believe we will have a great chance to achieve our aims, which is, I say, to be in the Champions League. That's it. Anything else on top of that, I suppose, is a bonus. But yeah, I think we would all love a trophy, wouldn't we? I think we'd all love a trophy, especially a European one. But as long as we're in that Champions League next year, then I will look on it as a good season. And I guess what would happen is, though, now the problem is, because of the great start that we've had, we're top of the league, if we didn't finish in the top 4, if we were to finish 5th or 6th after the start we've had, that's going to involve quite a lot of poor results in the league in the second half of the season, isn't it? It's going to involve a lot of defeats. And would that really be considered to be acceptable when you look at what we've done in the league the last 2 or 3 seasons? 26 league defeats in the last 2 seasons. If we were to suffer another 10 this season, then that's not really going to look good, is it? So these are all issues that we need to look at. But yeah, ultimately, as long as we're in the Champions League next season, that's the job done. That was the aim for this season. And I think maybe the expectation of everybody's changed a bit now because we're doing so well. We're top of the league, we're playing well and all this, that and the other. But let's see, a long way to go still. A lot of things can happen. And let's just keep enjoying what we're doing at this moment in time, the way we're playing, the results that we're getting, where we are in the league and all that kind of stuff. So, that's what we want to see. Keep this going and let's look at where we end up. For instance, I think Saliba and Gabriel will rotate the Europa League games with Holding playing all of them. Zinchenko and Katie rotate the left back and Tommy and Benny rotate the right back in Europa League. Yeah, maybe. I think Cedric might play a bit now. He's fit again in the Europa League, possibly at right back. Certainly in the group games. I mean, I think I agree. When we get to the knockout stage later on in the season, we can't afford to take too many risks there because the knockouts are knockouts, aren't they? For instance, they still need two mids as Sambi needs a loan spell, and Eddie stays as Europa League striker with Vieira Manquillos probably playing them all. Yeah, but again, you see, when it comes down to the knockout stages, you're deep into knockout stage, quarterfinals and semi-finals. Is Eddie Nketiah going to be the player to get us the goals we need to win those games? I'm not sure if he would. But ultimately, we may not have a choice. If him and Jesus are the only 2 options, and we're still in the running for the league title, who knows? Or certainly the top 4. Then we want Jesus playing in those games as well. So it's a tough one, isn't it? And this is where squad depth is so important, isn't it? And this is why our squad depth hasn't always been enough for us. I don't feel certainly not this season in terms of depth. But we'll see what happens. Ultimately, that's all we can do, isn't it? Anyway, the teams are coming back out now for the second half. Arsenal are out already, and Leeds are just coming out in the tunnel. I know, looking at the time, you guys might be thinking, "Oh, the game's nearly finished." No, it isn't nearly finished. We're only at half time. There was a big delay just after 1 minute of the play. There were some technical issues with VAR, power cut, or whatever it was. The players went off for half an hour or so. So we are running very, very late. But the good news is it is Leeds nil Arsenal 1. Bukayo Saka with the goal. 35 minutes on the clock it was when he scored. A mistake from Leeds. Arsenal took advantage of it. Maybe a little bit fortunate to be in front, possibly. A bit like the other night. We were a bit fortunate to go in front the other night, wasn't we? Anyway, Leeds have made that sub at half-time. Patrick Bamford has come on. We assumed he would. He was getting instructions, wasn't he, from Jesse March just before half-time. He is coming on. Who's gone off? Let's have a look. Oh, it's Rodrigo. So maybe that mistake from Rodrigo has cost him his place for the second half. And it's Patrick Bamford coming out. And he's not scored this season, has he, Patrick Bamford? I don't think. But we know how dangerous he can be, what a good player he is. He's going to pose a different sort of threat to Rodrigo, isn't he? Rodrigo's a dribbler, runs in behind, runs the channels, whereas Bamford is a sort of player that's going to get on the end of things in the box, isn't he? So a different sort of threat. Anyway, Leeds have just started the second half, all in white, attacking the goal to our left in the second half. Arsenal in the black and gold away kit, and we are taking a goal to our right, which is the end where Arsenal's fans are gathered at this near side over there. So let's hope we can get a goal up that end for them to cheer in the second half. But it's Leeds straight away on the front foot with Aronson on this near side. So Leeds have made that substitute. That cross comes in towards the far post. Who was there? It's Bamford inside the 6-yard box, and Bamford has scored. In fact, he hasn't because it's been disallowed. VAR are going to check this. I'm not sure what it's been disallowed for. Leeds are unsure. Is it a handball? Is it an offside? I mean, that would be an impact, wouldn't it? Literally, we played 20 seconds of the second half. Patrick Bamford has scored, but there is maybe a hint of, is it a handball or an offside? There's no offside there. Aronson there with the ball back. The cross comes in. It comes back. Has it come off his shoulder? I'm not really sure, actually. This is going to be interesting. Or was it a foul? It certainly wasn't handball. Was it a foul on Gabriel? Is that what the issue is? Was it a foul on Gabriel? In fact, Gabriel's got his arm on Bamford. I don't think there's a lot wrong with that goal. I've got to be honest. Looking at the replay, I don't think there's a lot wrong with it. But it's been disallowed. Wow, another VAR decision goes Arsenal's way after the 2-1. It's funny, isn't it? You know, when we were struggling, shall we say, we didn't get any of these decisions, did we? And now suddenly we're doing well, top of the league, and suddenly we're getting these decisions going our way. I'm not sure what it was disallowed for. Was it a push on Gabriel? I didn't see a lot wrong with it, actually. Was it an offside, maybe? I'm not sure. Anyway, let's see what we've had a couple of comments in actually there. Terry says, I hope we've learned from last season not bringing no one in. Yeah, I believe that we have to. I think we have to believe that we have. Fred says, I'm hearing Arteta tried his light bulb speech again, but connected up wrong and it burst a fuse box. Well, there's been a power cut, so I don't think it would work actually. Jay says there, fortune favours the top two. Well, yeah, it certainly seems to. I mean, I'm very, very surprised that goal got disallowed, actually. I've got to be honest. I don't know what they've said about it, what it was disallowed for, but looking at the replay, I didn't see a lot wrong with it. And I always say, the way I look at it, these things are always the same. How would I feel if the decision went against us? If I looked at that and we scored that goal, I'd be saying that's a goal. I didn't see a lot wrong with it, but anyway, unless there was an offside that we didn't see, there was no lines drawn. I don't know what it was disallowed for. But anyway, what it has been disallowed, we'll take it as we took some of those decisions last week. But anyway, it is still 1-0, which is great to see, isn't it? But yeah, maybe the fortune does favour those at the top of the table as opposed to those further down the league, you know. Anyway, let's see what happens in the rest of the second half. But that was a let off, I have to say. And Fred says, I'm glad we waited for VAR now. Yeah, do you know what it was disallowed for? I mean, I haven't got the sound on, so I can't really hear what the decision was. Obviously, I know it's got disallowed. And I saw a couple of replays, couldn't really see a lot wrong with it. Jesse Marsh is shaking his head. He looks like he maybe agrees with me. He couldn't see a lot wrong with it either. But anyway, we'll take it all day long. But again, you see, and I don't like this happening because what tends to happen is if we win this game 1-0, there's going to be a lot of people who say, "Oh, well, it's only Arsenal lucky again. It should have been, you know, it should have been a goal like last week with a penalty and all this kind of stuff." And I want us to be winning games, you know. And people just say we've won games because we've won the game because we've been a better team, not because we've got lucky decisions going our way. Anyway, Leeds have got a corner. They've started the second half really, really well, actually. Again, I mean, they played well in the first half, Leeds. For instance, at BBC, there's a VAR check and it's ruled out because they deem Bamford to have fouled Gabriel as he nudged him off the ball in the box and pokes it over. Like, really? It looked like Gabriel had hold of him first. Wow, we'll take it, but wow, I have to say. Terry, I thought they said handball, but can't believe that didn't count. Well, I didn't think it was handball. It was off his chest. That corner comes in and Aaron Ramsdale's forced into a punch. Leeds looked very fired up from that disallowed goal. And I have to say, I don't have a clue why it was disallowed. It looks a perfectly good goal to me. But anyway, it has been disallowed. And it's gone in our favour. So we'll take it. But Ramsdale then from that corner came in at the near post. And he got there with a punch. Did well there, Ramsdale. It's a good punch away. But Leeds have got a throw over on the far side, which they've taken. They're coming forward again. It's been all Leeds at the start of this second half. They are really fired up, Leeds here. They've got another opportunity now just inside the box. The ball played across there, but good defending that was there. I think it might have been William Saliba's hooked it clear. Well, there's a mistake at the back from Leeds, but they get away with it, actually. It was a little bit of a poor touch there from Robin Koch. And Gabriel Jesus was almost hitting it on halfway, but Leeds did win the ball back. And it's now back with Meslier. But it's been a very, very fast start to the second half from Leeds. And for Patrick Bamford, he had the ball in the net after 20 seconds of coming on. And a good finish from him, but it's been disallowed. And Leeds have now got a throw over on the far side. Arsenal just haven't got going at all in the second half yet. We've played 5 minutes. It is still a Leeds 0, Arsenal 1, but we're rather fortunate to still be ahead, it has to be said. But anyway, we'll take it. Of course we will. And we will hopefully settle into the second half. A long ball over the top looking for Sinistera again, but it just runs away from him now. And Arsenal do tidy it up. It's now back with Aaron Ramsdale. In fact, it was an offside against the Colombian. and it's going to be a free kick to Arsenal, which Aaron Ramsdale is going to take. Yes, we did get slightly fortunate there, it has to be said. Yeah, it is still Leeds 0, Arsenal 1. And we've played just over 5 minutes of the second half. William Saliba takes that free kick in to Thomas Partey, goes up this near side to Ben White, and he plays it back to Aaron Ramsdale again. See, I didn't think that was a foul on Gabriel there. I really didn't. Anyway, we got a bit lucky, and let's hope we can make the most of that and go on and get a second goal and seal the point, seal the win, and go 4 points clear at the top of the table. Anyway, Arsenal now coming forward over on that far side. Gabriel Martinelli's on a good run, actually. He's done really well, the Brazilian. Every time he gets the ball, he just wants to run at defenders, doesn't he? And no one can stop him. But in fact, he is stopped there by Christensen, but it's going to be a throw to Arsenal in front of those Leeds fans in that far corner. Martinelli's got the ball again. It's going to be another throw to Arsenal. Finally, we've got the ball inside the Leeds penalty area. Granit Xhaka there with a little flick. Martin Odegaard inside the area, fires a shot in, hits a Leeds defender on the chest. And it is going to be a corner to Arsenal. It was Robin Koch there who blocked that shot from Martin Odegaard. Fired it in from just inside the penalty area. In fact, it did hit his arm. His arm was across his chest. He didn't move his arm towards the ball. So it won't be a penalty. It is a corner though to Arsenal instead over on that far side. Can we get a second goal which will settle everybody down? And surely that would be enough to give us the points. But let's see what this corner brings as we look to get the second goal. It's going to be Martinelli with a corner over on that far side, getting a bit of stick off the Leeds fans there. But I'm sure he won't be too bothered about that. It's flicked in towards the near post, looking for Thomas Partey. In fact, it comes back to Martinelli again. Leeds are claiming offside. It's not given. Martinelli's cross this time towards the edge of the box. Flicked on by Tomiyasu, finds a goal scorer. Bukayo Saka dinks it forward into the penalty area, looking for the run of Jesus. But Leeds are able to clear that away. And they can try and launch a counter-attack. Can they? No, they can't. It's going to run out for a throw to Arsenal. Terry says they're looking shaky at the start of the second half. Yeah, we are. You're right. We've looked very shaky at the start of the second half. But we are still 1-0 in front, and that's the main thing. We need to do what we did in the first half. You know, we was under quite a lot of pressure at times, but we saw it through. And we got ourselves, there's a mistake at the back there by Saliba. Bamford's in this time. Good save from Ramsdale. It comes for Sinster. It's back with Bamford again inside the area. Oh, my word. Disaster at the back there from Arsenal. But again, we've got away with it. It was Patrick Bamford there. Saliba with the mistake. Couldn't control the ball. And it was, it came to Saliba there as a poor touch. And it fell to Patrick Bamford. He was onto it quickly. Good save, actually, from Ramsdale. And then, again, he got it again from Bamford. But, wow, that was a big moment. Again, Bamford has caused us a lot of problems already, hasn't he? Couldn't quite get that past Ramsdale. A really good save. Again, that's the second good save from Ramsdale today, actually. He's now getting some treatment on the pitch for an injury suffered in the making of that save. And, yeah, well, that could prove to be a big moment in this game, actually, there, because that was a big moment for Patrick Bamford. He's had a goal disallowed and he's just had a big chance there. Saliba, it was with a mistake, a miscontrol from him. Unusual. One of the rare mistakes he's made this season, actually. And it almost cost us there, though. But Ramsdale was there doing what your goalkeeper's supposed to do. You know, when there's an opportunity for the other team, the goalkeeper should be there to save it. And he was. It was a good save from Ramsdale. He's now back on his feet again. And it's going to be a drop ball, is it? But yeah, Saliba there was at fault for that chance there. And Bamford maybe should have scored, to be honest. You're 1-on-1 with a keeper, and Ramsdale is back up again, and he has now got the ball at his feet. We have played nearly 10 minutes of the second half. It's been all Leeds, actually. They've had the ball in the net disallowed. They've just had a big chance there. Patrick Bamford has made a massive difference, hasn't he? He's been brilliant. Arsenal have lost the ball again, and Bamford's got the ball again. He's got Sincera just outside him. Bamford's going to go on his own, is he? Arsenal briefly. Look, Bamford's in the box again. He just can't get his shot away. Good defending, actually, between, was it Gabriel and Ben White? Bamford is causing us all sorts of problems here. But again, Arsenal did makers of our own downfall, actually, giving the ball away high up the pitch. Bamford doing really well again. Saliba tackled him initially. It came back to Aronson. Then again, it was Bamford in the box. But Gabriel and Ben White were strong. But Leeds are dominating this game, and now in this second half. The crowd are up. And we need to get through this period here. We need to be strong for the next 5-10 minutes and see this through. But yeah, it's been a really, really tough start to the second half here. Leeds have been absolutely brilliant. And Patrick Bamford we just can't deal with him. He has caused us no end of problems already. He could have had a hat-trick in the first 10 minutes of the second half here, and he's chasing after this ball again, but he's not going to get to that one. In fact, it wasn't him, sorry. It was Christensen over on that far side. But Bamford could have had himself a hat-trick already. But luckily, he hasn't been able to take any of those opportunities. Well, one of them, it was actually just a foul. It was disallowed, wasn't it? Anyway, Arsenal now looking just to slow the pace of the game down a little bit here with William Saliba. He's a little bit shaky actually. Two maybe little mistakes from him has almost cost us. But Arsenal now looking to come forward over on this far side with Martin Odegaard does well. Plays the ball in field to Thomas Partey. Finally, Arsenal stringing some passes together in the second half. That ball's played out over on that far side to Gabriel Martinelli. He's got Tomiyasu outside and finds Thomas Partey. Nice turn from the Ghanaian, but that's a poor ball cut out by Sinisterra. Now Leeds coming forward again with Aronson. Good play though from Ben White. Got back quickly, made the tackle, and now Arsenal coming forward again. Gabriel Martinelli over on that far side. Plays the ball in to Gabriel Jesus, who was fouled. Was he? Referee says no, and Leeds do come away with the ball. You felt that maybe a foul actually, but anyway. Leeds playing it forward. This is good play from Leeds. They're playing really well here. That's a nice exchange of passes there. Aronson trying to get in, but William Saliba's there this time. That's much better from him. Plays it back to Ramsdale, and he kicks it long, but it's too long, and it's going to run all the way through to Meslier. And Jesse Marsh applauding his team there, and you can understand why, because that was good play again from Leeds. They have started this second half. I don't know what he put in there, half-time cup of tea, but they've certainly come out flying, Leeds, at the start of the second half. And they're in again over on that far side. Jack Harrison. In fact, it's a foul on Tomiyasu, and the referee's given a free kick again against Leeds, and they'll be a bit frustrated there. I didn't think there was an awful lot wrong with that either. Tomiyasu just misjudged it looked like. Anyway, it's a free kick to Arsenal over on that far side. Arsenal living dangerously in this second half so far. You have to say it's been really, really tough. But we haven't conceded, and that's the main thing. That's all we can really say so far about this second half. Really, really shaky from Arsenal. But let's hope we can start to settle down a bit more now. We've played 58 minutes, and it's still Arsenal 1-0 up. That goal in the first half from Saka, but really we're not playing very well at all. You know, is it partly to do with the travel to Norway and back for this game? Is that a part of it? We look a little bit leggy, and Leeds have just come flying out at us, and we are struggling to cope and struggling to hang on. But anyway, there is still over half an hour to go for us to maybe get going. But we maybe could do with making 1 or 2 substitutions here, perhaps, just to freshen things up a little bit. Leeds coming forward again over on that far side. This is good play again from Leeds. It's played in towards the area to Aronson. There's a little bit of space here for Sinisterra inside the box. Can Leeds get a shot away? Sinisterra shot across the box. It was deflected, and then Tomiyasu clears it away. Arsenal hanging on here. It's cleared out only as far as Leeds again. A ball dinked back into the box again, and that's gone behind for a goal kick. But Sinisterra there has caused us problems all day, Sinisterra. And again, it was him getting clear over on that far side. Jack Harrison did really well, actually. Played the ball into Aronson, and it did find that Sinisterra again over on this near side. His ball across the box was deflected off Ben White. Then it was cleared away by Tomiyasu. But again, it just fell to Leeds. But it is a goal kick now to Arsenal, which Aaron Ramsdale is going to take. We've played almost an hour, but again, Arsenal give the ball away. Patrick Bamford's in again for Leeds. What an impact he's made for them. Leeds now coming forward with Bamford, plays it out to that far side. Christensen with a ball into the box there. Gabriel deflects across. It comes back again to Christensen. Still Leeds in possession. They're doing everything at 100 mile an hour. Jack Harrison into the box there. It comes off. It's going to be a goal, is it? No, it isn't. It runs through to Aaron Ramsdale. Leeds are appealing for something there on Mark Rocker. I'm not quite sure what was that about there. Let's have a look at a replay of that. I'm not quite sure what they're complaining about, Leeds. Anyway, Arsenal carrying in possession over on that far side. Granit Xhaka now plays it out to Gabriel Martinelli. It's now back again to Tomiyasu, and it's back to Gabriel. And now Arsenal just trying to settle things down because Leeds have been flying at us at 100 mile an hour in the second half. Martin Odegaard there plays the ball forward. It's cleared away by Leeds only as far as Granit Xhaka. Now it's played up that far side to Martinelli. Gabriel Martinelli running at that Leeds defence. Plays it in to Odegaard. Can he get a shot away, Odegaard? He can't. Again, he refuses to shoot. Tomiyasu picks the ball up. Martin Odegaard again on the edge of the box. Now he does shoot, but it runs all the way into the arms of goalkeeper Meslier. In fact, the referee is going over to the screen. Not quite sure. Was that for that earlier incident with Mark Rocker, perhaps? Let's have a look. It seems to have happened about 2 minutes ago now, but the ball carried on in play. The VAR screen is working, and he's gone over to look at this. Let's have a look at what this is going to be given here. Oh, it's a handball. It's a handball. It's a handball against William Saliba. That ball played over the top there. It did come off his hand. His arm's out next to him there. I think this is going to be a penalty to Leeds. The referee is looking at it, Chris Kavanagh. If this isn't given, then you have to say VAR is definitely in our favour today. That looks like a penalty to me. What's he given the referee? Chris Kavanagh. This is going to be a big moment in this game. He's checked the screen. Obviously, VAR's told him to check the screen. What's he done? He's given it. He's given a penalty. It is going to be... William Saliba's had a really, really shaky 10 minutes. Since that mistake, he's been all over the place, and it was a handball, and it is a penalty to Leeds. That ball played into the box, and it was a handball by Saliba, and he knows it as well. You could see the look on his face actually at the time he turned away. He knew it was a handball, and it's now been given. It is a penalty to Leeds, an opportunity for Leeds to... Oh, it wasn't an offside in the build-up to that move anyway. Not quite sure what's happening. They're showing replays and after replay at the moment again of that handball, and it was a handball, and it is going to be. It is a penalty actually. There's a little bit of pushing and shoving now inside the penalty area. Arsenal not happy with this decision. I think it was the right decision. I don't think there's any doubt about that. Patrick Bamford with it. Oh, he's put it wide. Patrick Bamford has put it wide. It's an almost a moment like the Manchester United game all those years ago. Bamford's put it wide. Wow, what drama here! The penalty was given by VAR, and Patrick Bamford has put it wide. Ramsdale actually went the right way. It has to be said, he did go the right way, Aaron Ramsdale, but he couldn't get it. It didn't matter because it went past that post. Well, what unbelievable stuff here. But Leeds are coming forward again over on this near side with Sinistera. What a game this has been. Drama, incident, everything. It's all going on, isn't it? And Leeds coming forward again. Over on that far side, Bamford looked like he was going to be in again. That was better defending there from Gabriel. But again, Arsenal losing the ball high up the pitch, but Granit Xhaka's won it back. Oh, that's a poor ball down. And again, Leeds pick it up in at the centre of the pitch. And Strike will go back to goalkeeper Meslier. Wow. Terry says there, Bamford missed a penalty. He did. Incredible stuff here. Incredible. Now Arsenal coming forward themselves. What a start to the second half it's been. There's been drama. There's been VAR controversy. There's been everything going on. And now Leeds coming forward again down this near side with Aronson. Leeds are still fired up to get this equaliser. Ball played across the box. A shot comes in. It's deflected. It comes back to Sinistera again. Oh, my word. How do Arsenal survive that? We are hanging on and hanging on in this game here. It's incredible stuff. That was Sinistera again. That ball came to him inside the penalty area. The shot says it hit Gabriel. Wow, incredible stuff this is. That ball was played up the line to Aronson again. It was a good cross from the American, actually. He picked out, since it's hit Gabriel. You have to say, Ramsdale looked wrong-footed there, actually. And it's a good block from Gabriel, actually. And then it came back to Sinistera, but he couldn't get the finish away. But what a game he's had as well. But it is, actually, there's now an injury. to an Arsenal player. We've played 66 minutes. It looks like Granit Xhaka actually has gone down with a bit of an injury, which is unusual for him, isn't it? But what a second half it's been. Incredible stuff. Absolutely incredible. But we're hanging on, and somehow we're still winning. And I don't know how. There's been a goal disallowed for what was nothing. There's been a missed penalty by Leeds. I mean, Bamford's made a difference. Anyway, in this break of play, Arteta, he's got the players in and he's not very happy. You can see he's trying to get more out of the team, and we're struggling. I do feel as though we look very leggy, actually, following that trip the other night. And yeah, we've got to dig in now for these final 25 minutes or so if we are going to win this game. Terry says there, Arteta needs to start earning his money here. This is my big worry, that he doesn't have a plan B. Exactly. We don't have anything else. We play one way. We play with one set of 11, 12 players, and that's it. You know, we clearly need freshening up. We clearly need to bring some subs on. But who have we got? Fabio Vieira, possibly. Is he the sort of player that's going to dig in and help we get a 1-0 win? I'm not sure. Reece Nelson, no, he was poor the other night. Eddie, not really at this point. This is a problem. We don't have the players to come off the bench in a game like this, in this situation, do we? To help us get over the line. I don't think we do. And that's the problem. So these 11 on the pitch have got to somehow find a way to see this out. And we've been hanging on. It's been really, really nervy this second half, hasn't it? But if we do see this through, you've got to say it's a good result and a good performance. Some of the Arsenal coming forward again on the counter-attack. But again, Leeds have won the ball. We're just offering nothing at all going forward. That's a long ball over the top again, looking for Sinisterra on this near side. He is playing amazingly well for Leeds. He's inside the area again. He should have scored a minute ago. Pulls it back to the edge of the box. Leeds looking very, very dangerous every time they come forward. This is Aronson again, just inside the penalty area. Leeds have already missed one penalty today with Bamford, and had a goal disallowed also by Bamford. That cross comes in. It's headed out though by Granit Xhaka. But again, Leeds winning the ball back. They're winning every second ball at this moment in time. Leeds, they are a much better team. They certainly don't deserve to be losing. Bamford now looking to make up for that penalty miss. Does well on the edge of the box. Is he fouled? In fact, the referee says he's fouled. I think it was William Saliba, and it is going to be a free kick to Arsenal, and we can relieve a little bit of that pressure which has been building and building. Not quite sure what Patrick Bamford did wrong there. Not quite sure what anybody did wrong there, really. It was just a challenge from two players. Anyway, we are going to have a free kick now to Arsenal, just on the edge of the penalty area. We've played nearly 69 minutes here at Elland Road. It's been a difficult game this for Arsenal, a really difficult second half in particular. We're quite fortunate to still be winning 1-0, you have to say. Leeds now coming forward again. That's a ball played over the top, but William Saliba is going to get there before Brandon Aronson. He gets it there. Ramsdale goes long up that far side. It's a good clearance, actually. Martinelli flicks it on, but he's hardly getting the ball in the second half. None of our attacking players are really getting the ball at all. And Leeds have picked up that again. And they're coming forward again. Leeds are knocking the ball around really well in midfield. It's played in to Sinisterra, who's done well again. He's a great player, isn't he? Now it's Christensen over on that far side for Leeds. Another ball played through. It's a one-on-one. Patrick Bamford's in again. Ramsdale's out. That's another save from Ramsdale. Patrick Bamford's claiming something now. I'm not quite sure what he's claiming, but again, he's got him behind us, hasn't he? Well, what a difference he's made. Patrick Bamford for Leeds, you have to say, he's caused us all sorts of problems. Again, he should maybe have scored. He could have scored 3 or 4 goals, Patrick Bamford, in this second half. Quite how he hasn't done, I'm not really sure. Terry says, yeah, well done, Rambo, indeed. John says, toughest game Arsenal have played so far. Just can't take control. No, it's been, I mean, it's difficult to criticise Arsenal too much. I think you've got to give Leeds credit, because Leeds have played really, really well in this game. Really, really well. And they deserve the credit, really, for the way that they've played. But yeah, we just haven't got going, have we, in this second half at all? We really have not got going. But let's hope that that we can see this through. But yeah, I don't think anybody could really deny that Leeds deserve something from this game. They definitely do. But anyway, let's see what happens here. I've just lost my stream, actually, which is a bit annoying. Let's just see if I can get it back again. I don't know if it's gone off because the game technically should have been finished by now. I don't know if that's the reason, actually. I don't know if anybody else has got this problem. Let's check elsewhere and see what is happening, because the stream has gone down. Well, the stream has gone down. I'm not quite sure what's happening, really. Anyway, let's have a look. So I don't know if it's because the game technically should have been finished by now, and maybe they haven't set the stream up for the extra time that's been added on. Anyway, let's see if we can find anything else, because this isn't looking good. Terry says there, Vieira on, Erdegaard off. Okay, I don't know how you know this, because I don't know how you can watch the game, because it's not. There's not a lot going on at the minute. I can't find the stream. It seems to have died. Which is a little bit annoying, isn't it? Okay, let's see what we can find for the rest of this game. So I think that delay is probably what's caused it, actually. Let me just see if there's any other way we can find something for this. Let's have a look and see. But yeah, this isn't great, is it? A crucial point in the game, they've took the stream off because of the time. Hopefully that they might set it back up again. Let's have a look and see what is going on. No, it's still offline. Let's see if there's anything else that we can find. I don't know if anybody else has got a stream or whether it's gone off everywhere. Let's have a look and see. Actually, I'll tell you where it might be on. Hang on a minute. Let me see if we can find it. See if it's on DAZN. It might be on DAZN somewhere, mightn't it? The DAZN sometimes have the Premier League games. Let's have a look. See if we can find something on here. Not sure if we're going to be able to. I've just found what's this here? Oh no, that's a different game. That looks like that's Spain. I'm sure it'll be somewhere. Somewhere I'll have it on. I've just got to find it. I do apologise for this. What I'll do is I'll get the BBC website up just to make sure we don't miss anything important, which we don't want to do we? Let's have a look. Anyway, it is still 1-0, and clicks coming on for Leeds for Jack Harrison. That's just happened as well. I'm just trying to see if we can find. Oh, I found another stream. Leeds coming forward again. You won't be surprised to hear we've played 75 minutes. A shot comes in from the edge of the box. Another good save from Ramsdale, actually. A really good save that was there. John says that Jesus needs to slip scoring if he could get the ball, of course. Well, yeah, that's the problem, isn't it? We haven't got the ball forward. None of our attacking players have really touched the ball much in the second half, have they? That was a shot there from Aronson. It was on target, actually. Good save from Ramsdale. It is going to be another corner to Leeds into the last 14 minutes. And Terry says there, KT on, White off. Okay, yeah, that seems fair. Corner into near post from Leeds. Not a very good corner, actually. It's headed away by, not sure who headed that way, William Sleeper, I think it was. The ball's gone all the way back to goalkeeper Meslier. Leeds will be kicking themselves if they lose this game, won't they? Let's be honest. They've been the better team throughout much of it, really, and certainly the second half. Kieran Tierney now on that far side plays the ball forward. It's a poor ball, actually. He's picked up again by Leeds. They're coming forward again with Aronson. Plays the ball out to that far side to Christensen. Leeds looking dangerous again. A ball low cross into the near post, cleared away by Gabriel. Again, though, Leeds pick up the loose ball. Cross comes in, it's deflected behind. It's going to be another corner to Leeds. As John says, they're going to be a nervous finish to this game. It is. It's going to be a really, really nervous finish to this game. It's been a very nervous second half. We haven't been able to live with the threat of Leeds, really. We've hung on, and somehow Leeds haven't managed to score. And I'm still not quite sure how. But anyway, it is a corner to Leeds over on that far side, which Rocker is going to take. Comes in towards the near post again. Probably in around the 6-yard box. Arsenal managed to scramble it away again somehow. And it's Fabio Vieira, the substitute, clears it away, looking for Martinelli. Arsenal can't get out of our own half. That's been the case much of this second half, actually. The game's been played very much down that end of the pitch, away to our left-hand side. It's been constant Leeds pressure, and Arsenal just really haven't got going at all in the second half. If we win this game, it's going to be out of sheer bloody mindedness more than anything, because I don't quite know how we've survived. Anyway, Sinistera again on this near side, who's been brilliant for Leeds, plays it inside again. And Aronson has also played well for Leeds. Tomiyasu's now playing at right back. Kieran Tierney at left back, following the substitution. We needed to make some subs to freshen it up, really, but so far it hasn't really worked. Sinistera again in possession now, back for Leeds with Click coming forward. The substitute for Leeds now play to this near side to Strike. He gets it back again, actually. This is a pretty good play from Leeds again. A ball played in towards the penalty area. Good header away there from William Saliba. Comes to Saka, who's put under pressure again from the substitute Click there. But it's all Leeds pressure as we head into the last 12 minutes of this game. It is still Leeds 0, Arsenal 1, and I don't know how we are winning, but we are, and we'll take it if it finishes like this. But wow, what a second half it's been. What a nervy second half. And we're hanging on and hanging on. And we've still only conceded a goal in one away game so far this season. But Leeds again in possession now inside the centre circle with Sinistera. Plays it out to the far side. Leeds again coming forward, looking dangerous again. They are. The ball played in. A little bit of a loose ball there, but Rocker's done well to keep possession for Leeds. They're coming forward again down that far side with Christian, so it's going to be a throw to Leeds again. They're coming forward again. It's Rocker inside the penalty area for Leeds. Tried to go around the outside, and it's tidied up there by Granit Xhaka, and Kieran Tierney can complete the clearance. But again, every time we clear the ball away, it's just a Leeds player picking up a second ball every single time. And Leeds now coming forward again with Tyler Adams, who's played well in midfield for Leeds as well. Every single player for Leeds has played well. You have to say they've been a much better team, and quite how we win in this game, I do not know. Leeds still coming forward. Aronson over on that far side, the American. And Leeds looking comfortable in possession, but so far we're keeping them out of our penalty area for the time being. But they are coming forward now with Aronson. Plays it square to Rocker. Leeds have played so well in the second half. It has to be said. But Arsenal grimly hanging on. And now that's just going to roll out for a goal kick. And another Leeds attack comes to nothing. We are now into the final 10 minutes of this game. It is still Leeds 0, Arsenal 1. And we're making 2 more substitutions. Rob Holding's coming on. He's done this job a few times, hasn't he, when we've been hanging on away from home. Rob Holding comes on. It looks as though Eddie Nketiah might be coming on as well. In fact, he is. Jesus is going off. Not really touched the ball in the second half, Jesus, actually. And didn't have his greatest game, it has to be said. Maybe not quite 100% fit. And Saka, the goal scorer, going off as well for Rob Holding. Obviously, we're going a little bit more defensive now. An extra central defender on Rob Holding, who comes in and does that job effectively. He's done it a few times, hasn't he? And it's Jesus going off as well for Eddie Nketiah for these final 10 minutes. A big 10 minutes for Arsenal, this. If we hang on and win this game, you have to say that would be an impressive performance when you look at the way this game's gone. Arteta, they're having a little word with Fabio Vieira, obviously just going through the slight change of tactic stuff now with the substitutions. Again, Leeds win the second ball. But Arsenal now have picked up a bit of possession over on that far side. Kieran Tierney bursting forward over on that far side, plays it in to Gabriel Martinelli. Finally, Arsenal coming forward. Eddie Nketiah, his first touch. Patrick Bamford scored with his first touch, of course, although that did get disallowed very, very early in the second half. Eddie Nketiah couldn't quite get that ball under control, and it's Liam Cooper gets the ball away. The Leeds captain. We are now deep into this last 10 minutes. It's going to be quite a chunk of stoppage time, actually, due to the VAR checks, the substitutions, a couple of injuries here and there. It's been quite a mad second half, actually. It's been quite an eventful day, hasn't it, when you look at everything that's happened. But somehow we've only had one goal in this game, and it was that first half goal from Bukayo Saka for the second away game in a week. We are maybe fortunate to be winning 1-0, but maybe these 1-0s to the Arsenal may well be coming back from the George Graham days, of course, when we made an absolute history out of these types of performances and results, didn't we, away from home? Anyway, Leeds are still coming forward again, looking for something from this game. That cross into the near post, but Ramsdale's there. And Arsenal are looking a bit tired, it has to be said. Gabriel's gone down, but he's back up on his feet again. Can Arsenal hang on for what would be a brilliant victory, but a very, very fortunate victory? John says here, Terry, you're correct. No plan B in place. No, there never is. We've got one way of playing. Arteta's got one way of playing, and that's it. And he doesn't really trust a lot of his substitutes. Look where he is now. He's almost in the Leeds technical area, right? And it's ridiculous. He can't settle. He can't. The players haven't got any responsibility, have they? It's all on Arteta's. He has to do everything for them. It's almost like, I reckon he feeds them their food as well. And you know, when they have dinner and stuff. Leeds have made another substitution now in these last 7 minutes. Rocker's gone off. We had a great game actually, and it's Somerville that's come on, the Dutch player, Crescencio Somerville, and he's on for these final 6 minutes of normal time, plus whatever stoppages the referee will add on. In fact, Arsenal got a rather fortunate corner there. The ball bounced off the corner flag from Cooper, and from almost out of nothing, Arsenal have got a corner. A second goal now would seal it, of course. And you'd have to say it would be very, very fortuitous. Fabio Vieira is going to take this corner, actually, from the near side. We are into the last 5.5 minutes of normal time. I'd imagine there's going to be at least 5 minute stoppages as well. So there's still quite a chunk of this game still to play. It's Arsenal's third corner. Leeds have had 5. But it's going to be Fabio Vieira with this. He's going to in-swing it with his left foot, which he does to the near post. It's flicked on. Oh, just wide, actually. Was it Eddie Nketiah there? Got a touch on it at the near post. Couldn't direct it into the goal. Another player who spent a spell on loan at Leeds, like Ben White. It would have flicked into the near post, but there you go. John says there, that's how the game was lost at Man U. He was indecisive. No, exactly. And this is what I've always said. You know, what's happened is this season, you know, we've got Jesus, who's made a massive difference up front. We've had Zinchenko come in as well. But ultimately, that's improved the play. We've slightly changed the position of one or two players a little bit as well. Granit Xhaka's changed his position slightly, and it's made us play better. But ultimately, when it comes down to it, I still don't think Arteta's got the right. He's tactically flexible enough when it comes down to it. And if we hang on to this game, people will say it was a tactical masterclass, Arteta, but it hasn't been. We've been lucky today. There's no doubt we were lucky the other night. And how far can luck take you anyway? Martinelli now over on that far side. We're into the last 4.5 minutes. Martinelli now going towards the corner flag over on that far side. In fact, he's done really well, Martinelli. Twisting and turning. And he's won a free kick off of Christensen there. He had his arms round him. And Arsenal in no hurry to take this. And Martinelli's now gone down. Looks like maybe a cramp rather than anything else. John says we'll be lucky to get away with a win and we'll take it. Indeed, yeah. And Terry says it's a big worry for me. It's been a big worry for me for quite some time. And, you know, there's only so far, you know, a lot of Arsenal fans have been saying about Tottenham, they've been lucky. Luck only takes you so far, and you have to agree with that. And you have to say the same about us. We've been lucky today. We were lucky the other night. We haven't been playing particularly well the last couple of games, have we? So there's a big couple of weeks coming up now, or a few weeks, isn't there, before the World Cup for Arsenal, with the Europa League games as well. And it's going to be a big test, isn't it, to see what we're really made of. Anyway, Arsenal taking that free kick quickly. Martinelli now just runs it out of play. It's going to be a goal kick. And there's 3 minutes to play. Arsenal just trying to see down the clock and manage the game. But we haven't managed to do that now. And Leeds are coming forward again. And Leeds have played really well, you have to say. And if they do lose this game, you'd have to feel a little bit of sympathy for them. Obviously, we won't. We'll take the 3 points and move and go home and forget it. But there is going to be a lot of sympathy for Leeds tonight if they do lose this game, because they have played really, really well. There's a long ball played over the top. They haven't lost this game yet. Of course, Gabriel heads that one back to Ramsdale, who's made 3 or 4 really good saves in the second half. You've got to say he is the main contender for player of the match for Arsenal to keep us in it. Anyway, Leeds are going to make one more substitution, it seems, as we move into these last few moments here. I think that might be Sam Greenwood coming on, actually, for Leeds. Anyway, Arsenal have got possession at the moment with Kieran Tierney. Hooks the ball forward up that far side, looking for Eddie Nketiah, but he doesn't get there. And Leeds again have picked up possession. That's Christensen plays the ball up that far side. That's a good ball, actually. This is a good play. Leeds again coming forward. Patrick Bamford flicks it on. It's inside the penalty area to Aaronson. He pulls it back. A shot from Leeds over the top of the crossbar. That was a chance again. Another miss from Leeds. That was Somerville, the substitute there. Another chance goes begging for Leeds. Well, he should have scored again. Leeds could have scored 5-6 goals in the second half, actually. And somehow they haven't scored any. Again, it was a good move. Somerville actually started that. It was a good ball into Bamford. A lovely touch to Aaronson. He pulled it back. Arsenal were asleep, actually. Thomas Partey couldn't get there quickly enough, and he's hit it over the crossbar, Somerville, when really he should have hit the target. John says, yeah, that's exactly it, Terry. This is more proof. No disrespect against Leeds, as they've... No, you're right. No, I totally agree. It's Gelhardt, sorry, who's come on for Leeds. Joe Gelhardt for these last few moments here. He's made an impact from the bench in some previous games, hasn't he? And it looks like it may well be a Sinestero who's gone off, who had a great game, didn't he, for Leeds today. But we are now into the final minute of the 90. Are Arsenal going to hang on for this 3 points? A big 3 points it would be, but a very, very fortuitous 3 points as well, you have to say. John says there, lucky Bamford wasn't playing the whole game. What a second half he's had. Everything happened to him apart from him scoring a goal. But anyway, we're going to see how much stoppage time we've got to hang on for, because the second half has literally been backs to the wall for Arsenal, and quite how we're still ahead, I don't think anybody's quite sure. But we are, and as we said, we'll take it and move on. But yeah, a lot more questions and answers about this performance today. There's no doubt about that. Terry says only 6 minutes to hang on. Well, yeah. Another 6 minutes, because we've been hanging on for the last 45. And what a difference Patrick Bamford has made. It is going to be, the ball's going to go up now for those 6 minutes that Terry's confirmed for us. I'm not surprised it's that many, with a couple of VAR checks, 1 or 2 other incidents as well. That's, a couple of times the trainers have been on in the second half. So there is 6 minutes. We are now into the first of those 6 minutes. And it is going to be a throw to Leeds over on the far side on halfway. Oh, in fact, it's a free kick to Leeds. Are we going to have a dramatic finish to this game one way or the other? Are Arsenal going to get a second goal to seal it? Or will Leeds get the equaliser that you have to say they do deserve? But we won't worry too much about that if they don't get it. That's a long ball forward again up this near side looking for Somerville, but that is going to run out of play. He had the latest of the big chances for Leeds in this second half, fired it over the bar. And we have played a minute of the 6 of stoppages. We've got 5 more minutes to hang on. It's a throw to Arsenal on this near side. Tomiyasu is in no hurry to take it. As we move down to the final few minutes of this game, it is still somehow Leeds 0, Arsenal 1. And it will be one of the biggest mysteries of all time how that's happened. And that's a long ball forward again, looking for Patrick Bamford, but Gabriel does well. And that's going to run through to Ramsdale. Gabriel and Bamford there in a little bit of a confrontation. Rob Holding's in to separate them there. Bamford wasn't happy with the block on him, actually, from Gabriel. Not quite sure what's going to happen here. The referee has gone over to chat to his linesman over on that far side. Gabriel did push Bamford away, or he certainly appeared to. Is it going to be another VAR check? Oh, it's a red card. It's a red card for Gabriel and a penalty to Leeds. Oh, my God. Gabriel, another game, another big mistake from Gabriel. That's given by the linesman over on that far side. I mean, Bamford did run into Gabriel first of all. And he kicked out at him. That's actually very similar to the Patrick Vieira one at Old Trafford all those years ago, isn't it? On Van Nistelrooy. I don't know whether or not. I don't know what's happening here. The Arsenal players are surrounding the referee. Gabriel is still on the pitch. And I'm not sure he's doing himself any favours here. I think it's going to go to VAR anyway. And I'm not sure what's going to happen here. Is he going to go and look at the screen? There is a lot gone on in this second half, it has to be said. I mean, Gabriel cut off Bamford's run, first of all. And he's going to go look at the screen, the referee. He is going to go and look at the screen. The referee's coming over now, Chris Cavano, to check the monitor again. There's been unbelievable amount of stuff in this game. It's going to lead to another big chunk of stoppage time, it has to be said. Not quite sure what's going on here. Let's see. It's not for that, is it, there? I mean, Bamford's kind of blocked him off there. It's the bit afterwards, I think, that the red card was given for. As he's gone down, he did kick out at him a little bit, Gabriel. It has to be said. The fact he's been made to look at the screen, it could suggest to me that the VAR thinks that's not a red card. He's being told, he's been spoken to there. What is going to happen here? Late, we said, was there going to be late drama? Well, there's certainly late drama. We don't know what the outcome of that drama is going to be yet. Is it going to be a penalty to Leeds and a red card to Gabriel? Not that the red card is going to make a lot of difference in the game with a couple of minutes to go. Let's have a look and see now. He's come away from the screen, Chris Cavano. This is a big moment in this game. What is he doing? Oh, he's not given a penalty. Oh, my word. Wow. What's he going to do about the red card? To be fair, Gabriel has got to sort his life out because he's been dreadful these last few games. He's got a mistake in him, a crucial mistake. And let's see what the decision is going to be. Gabriel isn't sent off. He's going to be a yellow card to Gabriel instead of a red card and no penalty. Wow. This is incredible. This has been an absolutely incredible game. I've got to be honest. Incredible. Just incredible. Anyway, we have now played 5 minutes of stoppage time, but there's going to be another big chunk of it because there was a good couple of minutes there for all of that stuff there. Leeds, again, have been denied. I don't know who would have took that penalty, actually, because Bamford missed the previous one. All kinds of stuff has gone on in this game. And you think VAR nearly didn't work. We were going to say before the game, let's play the game without VAR. But it's a good job we didn't, because if VAR hadn't been working, we'd have probably been 4-1 down. Anyway, there is another free kick to Leeds. We are into the final few seconds of the 6 minutes of stoppage time, but actually there's going to be a big chunk more. The game is boiling over now. Leeds' frustrations are getting the better of them. Thomas Partey is getting involved as well. And Martinelli's gone down. But it is a free kick to Leeds as a result of all of that. We've probably still got 3 minutes to play, even though we've played the 6 minutes on the clock. A game that started at 2 o'clock this afternoon. It is now 4:30, and we are still playing. And it is still Leeds 0, Arsenal 1. It's probably been the most incredible afternoon of Premier League football that you'll ever see. And we're playing on still. It is going to be a free kick to Leeds. Meslier is going to take this free kick for Leeds. They're going to throw everything at it now. We're into the last few moments of this game. It's stoppage time at the end of stoppage time. Mellier's free kick then is headed out by Thomas Partey. Again, Leeds win it, head it back in again. Granit Xhaka clears that one away. And you wouldn't be surprised now if Arsenal get a second goal on the counter-attack. The ball's played out to that far side. Eddie Nketiah, he would love to get a goal, wouldn't he? But he's going to go to the corner flag, is he? He comes forward, but Leeds pick the ball up again. In fact, that's a handball. And it's going to be a free kick again to Leeds. Terry says, whoever said about VAR, I'm also glad they got it working now. Exactly, yeah. I mean, I say without VAR, we lose this game, quite honestly. We'd have probably conceded 3 or 4 goals, wouldn't we? Let's be honest. They would have had a penalty there. We would have been down to 10 men. The goal that got disallowed wouldn't have got disallowed. Incredible stuff. And we are still playing on. We've played 97.5 minutes of this game, and still we play on. Leeds still coming forward. They'll still believe they can get something from this game that they probably do deserve, you have to say. But as he kept the ball over on that far side, he drills into the penalty, but Granit Xhaka clears it away. Arsenal spent the second half just basically grimly hanging on. In fact, it was a throw over the far side, which has been taken quickly. Leeds in possession. You do think there's still going to be another minute or so to play, because there was at least 2 odd minutes or so for that VAR check. We have now played 98 minutes in this game, and still we play on. A cross comes in, but it's charged down by Granit Xhaka, and then Arsenal just kick it anywhere as far away from the goal as possible. It goes all the way through to Meslier for Leeds. Still we play on. We've played 98 minutes and 10 seconds. The ball is now inside the centre circle with Leeds to that far side. They're still coming forward. This could well be their last chance. The ball played in towards the edge of the penalty area. Well, there's a bit of a mix-up at the edge of the penalty area. Strike now. Can he put it back in again? He does to the far post, and still Arsenal panicking at the back. We haven't managed to get it away, and it's going to be a corner to Leeds in the final few seconds of this game. Panic there at the back for Arsenal. You have to say it's been the most incredible game. Meslier is coming up for this corner. The drama continues. Yeah, we may still be playing this game until 5 o'clock. Who knows? But it is a corner to Leeds over on that far side. It's coming to the near post, headed out by Tomiyasu. Aronson tries to put it back in again, and Arsenal just kick the ball clear. Meslier is now running back to get into his goal, but Leeds have got possession of the ball still. It's played back in again, and now Arsenal have got a chance with Fabio Vieira. There's a runner outside of me. Gabriel Martinelli. Is he going to go for goal or just hold the ball up? Oh, he didn't do anything really. He tried to find Eddie Nketiah. In fact, there goes the full-time whistle. Somehow Arsenal have won this game, and I don't think anybody quite knows how. Arteta's celebrating, but this is the luckiest victory I think I've ever seen Arsenal get. How we survived that game without conceding a goal, I do not know. Leeds will feel hard done by. Not only that they lost this game, but they didn't win it. Just incredible stuff. Terry says there, Gabby has become a total liability since Lever came into the back. Well, you're right, he has. I would think about leaving him out. He's been terrible. He almost cost us that game on 2 or 3 occasions. Terry says, yes. And Fred said that wasn't fun. It wasn't fun at all. It was a dreadful Arsenal performance. We should have lost that game, let's be honest. We should have lost that game 3 or 4-1. And no one could have had any complaints at all. And quite how we've won, I do not know. There was drama, there was VAR controversy, but ultimately it's come down to that goal in the first half from Bukayo Saka that's seen us win that game. That second half was backs to the wall. We made mistake after mistake. We got away with it. Aaron Ramsdale made 2 or 3 really good saves, actually, which has seen us over the line. But that was the most fortunate 3 points that you will ever see in your life. Gabriel really does need to have a long hard look at himself. As Terry said, he has become a liability, and he could have cost us that game today again, as he could have done in a few games in recent weeks. But ultimately, we have won, and I suppose we need to look on the positives. You have to feel a little bit sorry for Leeds. I've got to be honest, I thought they played really well today. They were magnificent in that second half. Patrick Bamford was fantastic as well. And somehow, with everything else that went on, we have managed to win the game 1-0. We are 4 points clear at the top of the Premier League, but we certainly didn't deserve that today. Jesse Marsh is applauding the Leeds fans, and rightly so. And the Arsenal players are going over to the visiting supporters area in that far corner. And that is the luckiest victory that we have had for a very long time. And I'm sure Mikel Arteta will admit to that afterwards as well. We were very, very fortunate today. But we have won. It's another win, and we are 4 points clear at the top of the table. Terry says there, I hope we get this ref every week. And Terry says, Fred, I agree 100%. It's fun, isn't it? Suddenly we're top of the league, and suddenly we're getting a lot of these decisions going in our favour, which never used to happen. I mean, just wow. I mean, what can you say? Really, really incredible. And yeah, somehow that goal, which feels like it was about 4 hours ago, a bit like the other night, isn't it? You know, Bukayo Saka scores in the first half, and it turns out to be the only goal, and we win 1-0, and it's just the most incredible, amazing game of the Premier League season so far. It has to be said. Just bonkers, and so many incidents, so many things happened in that game. It's hard to know where to begin, really. We started slowly. Ramsdale made a great save very early on to deny Stroop from a corner, but Arsenal did get the lead. Bukayo Saka's goal 10 minutes before the break, a mistake by Leeds. Rodrigo's pass cut out by Saka. He exchanged passes with Odegaard, fired in from a tight angle to make it 1-0 at half-time. Second half, Leeds came out. They scored after, 25 seconds. Patrick Bamford came on and scored straight away. It was disallowed for a foul on Gabriel, which I didn't think it was. Leeds then got a penalty on VAR for a handball against William Saliba, which Patrick Bamford missed, put it wide. Then Leeds had chance after chance. Aaron Ramsdale made 3 or 4 fantastic saves. Then right at the very end, Leeds were awarded a second penalty when Gabriel and Bamford clashed in the area. Gabriel initially was given a red card, but actually the referee changed the decision on VAR. It wasn't a penalty, and it wasn't a red card either. And in the end, Arsenal held on, and somehow it's finished Leeds 0, Arsenal 1. Phil says, how the hell did we win? Oh, well, 3 points is 3 points. Exactly. How the hell did we win? I do not know. You can't explain it, can you? You really cannot explain it. John says, then Arsenal rode their luck. The referee saved them. Yeah, without a shadow of a doubt. VAR came to our rescue for once, which doesn't happen very often, does it? But yeah, that was not a great performance. I think part of that was down to the travelling during the week to Norway and back. Part of it was down to Leeds just playing really well, really, really well. I mean, fair play to Leeds. They were brilliant. But how we managed to win that game, is a total mystery. But we'll take it, of course. Terry says, one good thing, Richard, play your tune. We are top of the league. Indeed, yeah, go on. Let's have a bit of that because we are top of the league. We're still going to be top of the league, whatever happens in the game that's just started at Anfield. So we are top of the league. It's still 0-0 actually at Anfield, Liverpool against Manchester City. The other results were Manchester United 0, Newcastle 0, Villa 0, Chelsea 2, Southampton 1, West Ham 1. That was all in the Premier League, and it is currently Liverpool 0, Manchester City 0. They've played 9 minutes there. Yes, our game has only just finished, even though we've been on air nearly 3 hours. There was a half an hour delay due to technical issues at Leeds at the very start of the game. And due to the fact that we've finished late, there's not as much break for me now in between before I'm back at 6:30 for the women in the WSL. Arsenal women are away at Reading, the resumption of that particular league. So we will be back with you for that one. So please join us if you can for that game. Arsenal gets Leeds. I'm sure that won't have the drama that this one had, but hopefully it will contain a slightly better Arsenal performance and a slightly more performance that we can enjoy rather than being so stressed as indeed we were for that one. And Terry says, yeah, definitely, John, we did ride our luck. I suppose the other thing we need to play is something that's become a little bit of a habit recently. Nil to the Arsenal for the second game in a row where we maybe don't deserve it, but we've got it, we'll take it, and we move on. So that's that then. Somehow Arsenal won that game. Somehow we're still, well, we were going to be top of the league anyway, but we are still top of the league. We're going to be top of the league again this weekend. So I say join me again if you want to for the women's game against Reading, and we'll be going live about 6:30, maybe just after now. I need to lie down after all of that. So join us for that game a bit later on. Reading women against Arsenal women tomorrow night. Of course, the Arsenal review at 8 o'clock, looking back on this rather incredible game, looking back on the win in Norway as well, and looking ahead, of course, to another big week. PSV game on Thursday, and of course Nottingham Forest next Sunday. So join us for that tomorrow, 8 o'clock. Tuesday, it's the Arsenal Social Extra with Adam and Steve. That's going to be a great show. Loads to talk about there with them guys, looking at the social media stuff as well. That's on Tuesday, 8 o'clock. Wednesday, it's the Women's Champions League. 7:45, we're going live. Lyon against Arsenal women. So join us for that. Thursday, Arsenal Men Europa League against PSV. That kicks off at 6 o'clock. We'll go live about 5:45 for that one. Friday, it's the Arsenal Women's Show. Lots to look back on the resumption of the WSL Champions League. Loads and loads of stuff there as well. So please join us for that. That's 7:30 on Friday. And then, of course, next Sunday again, we've got 2 watch-alongs. The women start at 12 o'clock against Liverpool away. And then it's the Arsenal men playing Nottingham Forest at the Emirates in the next Premier League game. So loads of great stuff on the channel. Please give it a like if you have enjoyed the show today. Much appreciated. And please subscribe to the channel if you are new. And if you do like the Arsenal women as well, or you just enjoy our watch-alongs, please join me about 6:30. Not that very long now, is it? Another, just under 2 hours. We'll be back with action from Reading, Arsenal women back in WSL action. A win will take Arsenal women back to the top of the WSL. I think we need to win by more than 1 goal, actually. But anyway, let's look forward to that. We will bring you that game as well very, very shortly. So, yeah, thanks all you guys for watching. Thanks for all the comments as well. Good to see some familiar faces in the chat as well, as always. 1 or 2 new faces as well. So hopefully you guys will be back as well very soon and join us later. Terry says, looking forward to Arsenal's 8-0 win tonight. Well, after that game now, any win will do. Let's face it, we can't pick and choose anymore. Arsenal women, of course, have got their injury problems as well. But it's all about the men this show's been. Somehow, and I still don't know how we won that game, but we did. That goal from Bukayo Saka, which seems to have been scored yesterday, did actually happen in the first half of that game. And it did finish Leeds 0, Arsenal 1. Delayed game, of course, delayed start to that game, but it's finished finally Leeds 0, Arsenal 1. Bukayo Saka's first half goal and a catalogue of VAR and Leeds misses in the second half has led to us winning that game. So join us later if you can. 6:30 we'll be live again for the Arsenal women, I say, against Reading. In the meantime, enjoy the rest of your evening. I'm going to get some food, get a drink, and just chill for an hour before I have to prepare for the game later as well. So join us for that if you can. Thanks for joining us today for this game. It's been fun, hasn't it? Or not much fun, perhaps the second half, certainly not. Very, very nervy and very exciting, actually, that's to be said. What a game of football. And unlucky Leeds, dirty Leeds have lost somehow, but we don't mind that, do we? So you join me 6:30. Thanks for watching. Give it a like before you leave. Please like, share, and subscribe to the channel if you are new. I will see you at 6:30. In the meantime, of course, as always, come on, you Gunners. We are still top of the league, 4 points clear as things. Well, actually, 5 points clear as things stand because it's 0-0 Liverpool, Man City. But we'll see how that game finished. We'll speak about that, of course, later on when we're back for the women. So thank you very much for watching. See you at 6:30. Take it easy, guys. And now breathe.
Watch Gabriel Martinelli. It's now with Granit Xhaka. Is it going to be the 3rd goal? It is the 3rd goal. Granit Xhaka with it. That seals it.